Going live, it says.
Yeah.
You're live, it says.
Ooh.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Ooh. Those freaking aliens are going to frame me. Puts in $1 with a winky face. Thank you very much, Joe.
I mean,
great way to start off the live.
They are going to frame us all at some point. Maybe, possibly. Well, depends if you believe in them or not. Those pesky, multi-dimensional aliens. I don't know.
50 people here, 28 likes. Guys, hit the like button. I know we haven't really talked about much yet, but we're here now to talk about episode 6 of Lower Decks. And that is,
yes.
What the hell is this one called again?
Terminal
Provocations. I keep forgetting what the hell this one's called. I keep wanting to say temporal something, and then it's like, no, wait a minute.
Have you noticed how they never say temporal anomaly, but always say like temporal rift, or like they almost say my film's name every time, but they keep mentioning temporal something. It's a constant.
Temporal vortex, temporal, yeah. That was something else.
Always something, yeah. Just say temporal anomaly once, and I can freeze from and say temporal anomaly. Gosh, come on, guys. I haven't copyrighted it. It's fine, you know. But
Actually, I didn't realize they were 6 minutes overdue. I didn't even realize that. Oh well. Hi.
Hiya.
Let's take a little poll. Who's already seen our edited review from earlier today? Say I have or I haven't. And hit the like button. We actually have 3 people less now than when we started this, so I don't understand that. But anyway, hit the like button, guys. Ooh, Steven has seen it.
Yeah,
John has seen it halfway through.
Yeah, we posted it extra long ago because it was a slightly shorter one, so 4 hours ago. It's pretty good. A little bit. Normally it's about an hour or 2 hours earlier. I put JG Hertzer as the thumbnail. Something a bit because every thumbnail's gonna be a bit different. So Stuart has the microchip thingy. This one is them at a rock concert, and then the main review is the Martok. Oh well, the Martok isn't Martok. Yeah.
John was halfway through the other review when the stream started.
And now we're live. Love it.
Live and in person. Yes. I don't know. I'm not super excited to talk about this one. I'll be fair. I'll be honest.
I mean, yeah. You know. Although, is it? How does that feel in comparison to, say, Picard or Discovery?
Well, yeah, it feels better than that for sure. To talk about this, but it's a low energy day. You know how it is, and yeah, this one was not one of my favorites. So just gotta throw that out there.
You know, I think, for example, with the final episodes of both Picard and Discovery, they both failed to stick the landing. There was a frustration, there was a complexity of what have they done that we could sort of talk about and dissect here. This sort of content where it's so episodic and so short, it's just kind of like, oh, this one just didn't click with me. You know, it's a lot less complicated. It's a lot less, you know, as I said to you earlier in our review, you can summarize what Boimler and Mariner do. They walk around with a guy and then push a thing into an airlock. That's it. That's their entire episodic, what they physically do.
Well, White Whale says, best episode yet, in my honest opinion. First one I really enjoyed.
Can you tell us why? Because this is the worst episode easily, in my opinion. Least one I've enjoyed by that, and the review is going to speak to that heavily.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's my least favorite, but I don't know. It's down there. We'll have to wait till the end of the season to really kind of rank them. But
yeah, I mean, why?
It's not that I didn't enjoy it. It's just But I would love to hear why you enjoyed it, White Whale.
And you know, enjoying it is different to the bar has been raised so high, especially as they've been getting better. So this is, and actually while watching this a second time, I did get a vague sense that maybe this was meant to be earlier in that, but in some ways in how the crew reacts to each other, but then the main characters are very much a season 6 built up. If this was early on, there'd be not friends, not friends, but the way the crew reacts kind of feels earlier almost. It's
White Whale responds and says Mariner and Boimler partnership is equals. Yeah, that was a great part about this episode. One of the things that stood out to me is the way they were friends, and she wasn't better than him necessarily, and he was actually quite on point with his you know wanting to report everything. So I like that. That's one of the things I liked about the episode. So I will agree with that.
But one single aspect of the characters being better, it's like the first episode. The characters are worse, but the story's better, and it's more intriguing, and it's got more beauty shots, got more canon. It's like a laundry list almost. But the stories in this episode are just worse. The characters are better, but it's because they're fighting outside obstacles. It's less so much them having, because in the Klingon one, there was no obstacle beyond the guy left. They were just fighting each other, and it felt very This is all about going against something else.
Yeah, and the one thing I liked about this, it had a very Lower Decks feel to it. As what I mean by that is there's something going on the bridge that it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with what they're doing, and they're both their side missions are completely separate, but they all get impacted by the one event, and then that turns out being the solution to the other problem. It's very interesting that way.
It's the trickle down chaos.
Yeah,
and it shows that things can go wrong all over, because they do go wrong all over. But I'm going to start sharing. You just chat to the audience. I would like to do like a poll maybe to see, because for the most part I think us and our audience have been on the same level, and I'm glad we've been basically the same for every episode, give or take. I mean, but this is the first one where we're a bit more negative. I'd love to see what you guys think. But yes, talk to them, and I'll be back in a moment.
Yes, he's going to go share this around, and this is my chance to talk to you guys and say, hey, super chats are great. We already have a few super chats. We're going to read those as soon as Sam comes back, but they are a great way to support the channel and get your comment or concern read on the air, because we have to read all the super chats, just something we do. Same with PayPals. If you send a PayPal, the information of which is down in the description of every video. If you want to send us PayPal, please do so, but let us know in the chat that you sent it, not by super chatting, just by putting in the chat and letting the moderators know so they can let us know, and we will read your comment or question via the email from PayPal. So but yes, we do read all of them that come through, and it's a great way to support the channel and also get what you have on your mind out there. I mean, we do try to select a few from the regular chat, but when we're talking, it does kind of go by and we miss a lot of stuff. So super chats are a great way to get our attention, not just because you're supporting the channel, but because it's beautiful, it's highlighted and beautiful little colors on our screen, and it really shows that you guys care about our content and you want us to keep creating it. So we really appreciate that. So if you can, please do. Other ways to help us out, you can head on over to Patreon /Trekyards, help us on a monthly basis, or join the channel at the rank of Commander, Captain, or Admiral. That gets your name in a nice highlighted color. You get a badge beside your name, shows us how long you've been a member of the channel, and that also shows your support for us. So we tend to read those comments a little bit more as well if you join the channel. So anyway, yeah. Samuel's back, so we're going to get to the super chats we have.
That's me.
Prime 1351 $2.
Hey.
Have you guys seen the mid-season trailer? Yes.
Video with it in it tomorrow.
Yes. And Eugene, 250 rubles. I've never guessed I would ever see Bloodthirsty Clippy.
Yeah.
Badgie. Yeah, that was pretty great.
Well, this episode definitely takes directions you could never have predicted, which is all credit for them, as they've done each week. Just don't necessarily like where they went. But I mean, I was equally disappointed with the Klingon one in terms of like they didn't do anything, but at least they had all the canon and the cleverness and the little moments. This one's where it was story over character, which is fine sometimes, but if the story you don't like, it's like, you can't really win that,
Yeah, I think one of the reasons that I didn't like it, as I kind of said, is I went in expecting more TOS vibe because of the preview. I wanted to see more TOS stuff, and it just wasn't there. So,
which I don't think is truly. I mean, someone commented out saying, "Well, don't let that interfere with your opinion, guys." It's not that is actually making you like it less. It's that you're going in hoping for something, and it's something else. So you're a little bit taken aback, but it doesn't mean you like it less because of that. It's just
no, exactly.
It's just they were proposing a story in the teaser, and then it's something else, so it kind of takes you off guard a bit.
And Matthew K, $5.
Thank you.
Not my fave, but I enjoyed it as a comedy. Also, Antari's class. Yeah, was great seeing Antari's class for what we did see of it.
I don't even know, but was it even a comedy though? Like I laughed once.
It felt very, like you said, cartoony. Badgie really felt like a cartoon character, and I think that was definitely the point. but I don't know.
I mean, but did
something about it just feels off to me.
well, we'll talk about that in a minute. But did you laugh much?
Not really.
Because I laughed
honestly.
once in this entire episode, like actually laughed, and it was when the alien guy says "fuck you" but bleeped it.
Yeah.
I just love
it's Martog saying it.
Yeah, but it's just the fact that there's always says "fuck you." It's like,
Well,
oh, I'm harsh. Like that, I laughed out loud.
I remember laughing out loud at Badgie loading the thing for the spacewalk simulation, like and the face freezes and the loading bar.
Snigger, yeah. The first time was a snigger.
That was pretty funny. Yeah, so that's. I mean, there's probably a few other times where I laughed out loud, but I can't remember them offhand.
This is definitely the least comedy one.
Yes. But the most cartoony because of Badgie. Like you said in the other review, it feels very much like a Rick and Morty type deal, especially with Badgie ripping people's heads off, and you know.
I mean that and also the monster with the Icelandic monster. Like neither of those things would be designed or built that way in any other Star Trek. It's not even Picard Picard Discovery. Like they're just cartoon baddies of the week. They don't feel like there'd be any like literally though. That creature was almost identically in Babylon 5. But even that was like a very specific other thing, you know, and they do weird things. You know, felt very off kilter for Trek.
Yeah. Luke Celeste throws in $10. Which is amazing.
Thank you, Luke.
Another holodeck incident with nice effects. Yeah, I did like the holodeck thing. I thought that was fun, especially how they're changing environments on the fly. Which is odd because I mean they couldn't control they couldn't shut down the program, they couldn't call for an exit. I guess they didn't try. I don't think, but they could still change the environment.
And all the rest of the holodeck stuff worked fine.
Yeah,
it was like why couldn't they say computer create this prison and then he's stuck behind a door? You know,
computer put Badgie in a prison cell.
Yeah, I mean they had obvious control over the situation, except turning it off and they didn't even say computer Arch. Because Arch is different damn program.
And the computer voice wasn't Majel Barrett. It was just a generic female voice.
Wasn't Discovery either.
No, it felt a little odd to me, but oh well.
It's good.
Fleetpaw Swiftback, $2. Moderator Fleetpaw here dropping some likes on you. Thank you very much, Fleetpaw. Much appreciated. Tab Extra, 20 krona.
Thank you.
Too bad we didn't see the USS Titan. Yeah, the reference is great.
Beautiful.
But it would have been nice to see the ship like take off. You know how they sometimes do the ambassador or the admiral got dropped off and the other ship just peels away. That would have been cool.
As soon as I said Titan, I was like, oh, we're going to see it, aren't we?
Yeah.
Because it felt like especially when they cut 6 days later and he's in the Titan, it's like, well, obviously you'd show it, you know? You know, that was such a tease. Such a tease, man.
Fleetpaw Swiftback, $2, 53 likes. Yes, Badgie is happy. Let's get to 100. We have 62 likes now with 104 people here. We should hit 100 easily, guys. Hit the like button. And
then we know that Olivia makes a joke about the Trekyards monster. If you don't give it super chats, it'll eat you. But now we have a monster, the Badgie. If you do not appease Badgie, we've seen him come and rip through your world. So you know, like super chats or Badgie will come for you in your sleep. You know,
in your dream.
So when we're at 68 likes, we need to get to 80. We just need to, you know. For every 10 people, Badgie will not rip off someone's head or body part at least.
Maybe everybody out there wants him to come for us. So.
Oh God! I tell you, if we get 600 likes, Badgie will come for us, and you'll find out. Don't know.
The Trembler, $5.
Thank you.
With the commander on this one, islands of good in a sea of things that don't work. Cross the cartoon Trek Rick and Morty barrier, which it shouldn't do. Well, that's what. Yeah, and you even said that earlier, that this is the one that if this was the first one, you could understand why people would be kind of against it. And this is going to feed the fire for the fandom menace, unfortunately, with some of the stupidity in this one, in my opinion, anyway. A lot of people seem to really like this one. and teach their own. Maybe because it stepped over that Rick and Morty line that a lot of people really felt like it belonged. I don't know because I haven't really watched Rick and
Well,
Morty.
it's
So
definitely not a comedy episode, so those who don't want the comedy, because if comedy's subjective, then less jokes means less objective humour. The fact that Marin and Boimler are just friends takes that out. So if those are things they have problems with, then this episode is far more clean cut. It's just we don't like the stories as much, but you can see what and a lot of people who like it say it's because of the characters are more getting on. It's like that's great. But what about the rest of the episode? And yeah, certainly this episode is that line. If this had been the entire season, I would not be excited each week. I'd be like, oh,
yeah,
this is a cartoon with a Star Trek skin versus a very carefully balanced episode that takes place in the Star Trek universe with a cartoon spin on it. It's kind of like Orville. It's like it's almost too far with some of its things, but it keeps that line. This is like what stepped over the line to silliness.
Yeah. Well, Matthew DeFreitas kind of puts into words what I think about this episode.
And of course
Second
it goes.
Viewing,
Hold on. There you go.
but is still incredible.
You back again.
Oh, sorry. Matthew DeFreitas. This episode is better on a second viewing, but is still incredibly weak. This episode is the bottom of the list for me. Not the worst, but on the lower end. That's kind of exactly my summation of the episode as well. So, yeah.
And I will say it was better.
Somebody out there that agrees.
It was better in second viewing. I will say that, but mostly because in first viewing I was expecting the new guy at the start to be an alien introduced and being the big plot of the episode. But when he becomes a pathetic, snivelling bitch, you don't care about him in the second viewing. So you just watch it like, oh, he's fine. Then he isn't. Who cares? You're not engaged in the same way. It's like with Star Trek Picard. You watch it the first time thinking, where are they going to go? Oh, these all plot threads. Oh, what does this mean? Second time, you're like, it means nothing. Nothing means anything. It's a straight, simple story. There's no depth. You just watch it. And so it does change the viewing. You're not expecting anything because there's nothing to be gained. And so you can appreciate the simplicity more. But it's better because you're not expecting better from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Matthew K says, is this your first Skip It episode? And I think that's what you said in the other review, that this is the first one where it's kind of like, for you.
I wouldn't watch it. Yeah, I wouldn't watch it for fun. I mean, I didn't enjoy watching it per se. No offense, I don't want to watch a badge break someone's head. It's like, you know what I mean? And someone said, oh my god, you don't like violence in Star Trek. I'm like, well, it was excessive and unnecessary. Like it would have been fine, especially when he's punching Rutherford at the end. Don't include the big gruesome blood splatters. That's that line. Now it's a horrible, gruesome fight to the death in a cartoon Star Trek, as opposed to just kind of it's a fight, like the fight with the dude and the monster, the Hulk monster. Perfect, no blood. It was comical, but you understood the reference. That was a great fight because it was logical. So it changes each time.
Yeah.
It didn't add anything for me. Some people like just seeing blood for the sake of blood.
Yeah. Anyway, well, let's get into it.
Mm-hmm.
The opening sequence was fine. We kind of called that was going to be the opening sequence.
I had a feeling.
Sounds. You get the Enterprise D reference. You get Voyager referenced. Yeah, but we learned that the Cerritos. We learned that Cerritos has inverted plasma disruptors, so that's an important thing for Trekyards. Plasma disruptors is fine, or distributors. Inverted plasma distributors, yes. Which gives a high pitch whooshing, and Mariner's like, no, it's not from the distributors. It's the vibrations from the dilithium disbursement manifold. So again, more tech talk, and we love that kind of stuff. So yay, we learned things.
What was nice about... So this was the best scene for me in the episode, which is the first time a pre-tile's been the best one. Because everyone's equal, everyone's knowledgeable, no one's making fun of anybody. Like, they are all genuinely geeking out about the sound of warp engine. That's what's happening here. And all in a smart way. Not like, you idiot, it sounds like this. Like Mariner's saying, oh, she knows more about the technical side because she's smart. But Boimler's right. Like, it's a weirdly, uniquely, geekly thing, which is fun. Like, it's nice. Although that said, surely they're at warp currently, so they can all hear the warp sound. So why are they disputing each other when they can hear it? That seemed odd to me. It's like, but you're at warp. Just listen. Like, you know what I mean? And of all the things, why are they mentioning Voyager? Like, does that mean one of them served on Voyager? Because why on earth would you know about? I guess Voyager's really famous. Like, you know,
Everyone would know about Voyager. Yeah, are you
but
kidding?
why do you know about his warp hum?
I don't know. It's probably in a museum by now, but it's important. I mean, that was the warp that carried them all the way home. Well, half the way home.
Yeah, that one I thought was a bit forced. I mean, maybe like because I could imagine like the Classic and the Excelsior or something, or the NX. The NX would be a better reference there because that's a museum piece. I agree, that would have been fun. But it was weird to hear the Enterprise D and Voyager in the same sentence, basically. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
Eugene throws in 250 rubles,
Hey,
but it is cartoon with Star Trek skin, completely derivative of TNG era stuff with jokes, inside jokes, and references, but with the bare bare bone episode plots with some meat in episodes 4 and 5.
I mean, they cram a ton of story into 26 minutes every time, and A being a C plot. Like, they cram more in than lots of 23, 24-minute episodes do, and it's got a Star Trek skin, but also, I mean, I don't like it as much as we do, but, you know.
Yeah.
Well, hey, they have more story than the Picard episodes. Again, that's not necessarily much of a brag, but they managed more in that, and or really probably in Discovery as well, but that's probably more arguable.
Well, Tab Extra throws in 20 krona. Can we agree that the Delta shift sucks?
I think we can. I think we can. Yeah.
We're doing our jobs when we're sleeping. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Jarzia, $5. I did laugh at Shax saying, "Please let me shoot their warp core. I've been very good this month." But yeah, meh episode, not horrible though. Yeah, that's another line that made me laugh as well.
No, he was one of the best bits of the episode for sure.
Yeah. James McGill, $2. On 3, everyone do the choo 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 dance. 3, 2, 1.
Choo choo choo. Third chew, we're that fancy.
Choo 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 choo. Yeah. The Trembla, $5. Not at warp, no star streaks. Also Voyager, due to circumstances, would be one of the most famous ships in the fleet. Probably holo created often. Yes, and they were definitely at warp.
And they might have dropped out of warp, but they were at warp in the same scene. Because you can see
they started off in warp, and then as they were all, you saw the inside, you saw the warp, the streaks outside the window as well. So yes, they were at warp.
Definitely warp.
Yeah. But yeah, Voyager would definitely be one of the most famous ships. I agree.
Now, but Ransom, I'm not sure. It would have been nice if we saw him like from a different scene, because for him to come in, first of all, why has he got a phaser? Randomly?
They all have phasers when they need it, though. Haven't you noticed that? Even when they're not carrying them, they just automatically have a phaser. Yeah,
but it feels odd that he's walking casually through the lower decks bunks with a phaser. This is not standard procedure, guys. Don't.
You think there'd be phaser lockers nearby? So
that I would have preferred if he like pulls a phaser. That would make more sense. But the way he kind of just attacks Borna for no like, there's a certain lack of logic here. It'd be fine if he was having a really bad day or he was like, you know, synth drunk or something. But it's a weird ending to this sequence. It definitely could have had a better payoff than just him jumping on somebody.
Yeah. But that was funny though. I mean, it's weird. It's obvious something's going on. They're all ascending. They're all possessed by an alien. Something's going on. Why else would they all be doing that? So I thought that was kind of funny. I got a little bit of a chuckle out of me. Tab Extra though puts in 50 krona this time. That's awesome. Thank you. Did you notice that Delta Shift was opposite race color-wise? Basically a twin crew, but slightly different. Yeah, did notice that. So that's cool.
Yeah, that I thought was an unnecessary extra.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely fun.
White Whale says, "Dude was turned into a zombie cannibal. If phaser makes sense."
Hey. See that's a good point. Like there are things you can find. But anyway, so we get to this freighter area, and there's this freighter the stuff's actually coming from, which isn't the freighter that we think. It's something else, I guess. It's got blue and yellow, and there's lots of unknown stuff. But we do see, I think we do see more than one freighter. in the wreckage? Because there's definitely the one. I mean, there's quite a few nacelles in the wreckage. There's definitely at least that singular one to the whatever.
There's a story here. I want to know what happened.
Sure.
Looks like they got ambushed by somebody, and they say the wreckage has been there 100 years. So
I do quite like that we're starting right in the middle of a scene, because I was obviously excited for what was going to happen. So right, we're starting in the middle of the scene already. Yeah, great, we're doing.
And it's the Drukmani.
Drukmani, yeah. Hard to say on purpose.
Yeah. Which I called that they were claiming salvage rights.
Yes.
That's exactly what was said.
Yep.
So
that makes sense. I do like they had no weapons. I know it's a later on reveal, but I like that simple fact. It's a nice thing. And I like that we start with the security officer's captain's log, basically. For this scene, it's another perspective. I like it. He's been really not given. I mean, hey, the Doctor's been given basically nothing the entire season. Not sure why, but it's kind of fun. He brings that unique perspective, and yeah, I think his was probably the best gag of the entire episode. The want to fire, because he almost pushes the line of wanting to kill, but it's not like it's a certain fun level. Yeah.
And Ron Sarna asked, "Was J.G. Hertzler the alien?" Yes, he absolutely was. Yes. I love the whole debate, though. We can only give you a finder's fee.
Yeah.
It's obviously our stuff. It has Starfleet stamped on it.
Yep. You know the Delta means our stuff.
But that's not how... Like, they actually have a valid case, because scavenger rights are, you find it, it's yours. Even in international waters. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. And again, credit to the captain... is great this week. She's not the most characterful, but she does the job well in Starfleet fashion. Use her crew well. Good for her. Well done. And yeah, the aliens are definitely trying to be almost Klingons. You know, they're like monster Klingons. And even you could probably argue that the background ones are a Discovery Klingon jab, because the heads. If you cut off this bit, they're Discovery Klingons. You add this bit, and they're not. And doesn't that just show you how generic the Discovery Klingons look? But even like the way the pipes are in the ship, like that could easily be a Klingon salvage ship. So you know, it's a clever another in joke. So I dig it.
Matthew DeFreitas, $2.
Thank you.
For me, shoot first, Bajoran's starting to feel forced. For me, shoot first, Bajoran's starting to feel forced. Well, yes and no. I mean, that's just his character. I mean, we've seen Kira was kind of the same way, even though we know most of the Bajorans are like artists and artisans and all that shit. Don't get me started on the Bajorans. I like this guy. I like Shrax. So he's the Worf analog. Let's shoot them. He wants to do it. Just to do his job. He wants to hit those buttons, the shiny buttons in front of him all the time.
With Kira as well. I mean, you can kind of see there's a, just because she was very fiery in the first season. It was like, oh, come on. Let me do things.
I think the word you're looking for is bitchy, but okay, fiery works. So they have a little bit of a tractor beam more, which is funny. I have to expect the Cerritos' tractor beam to not work properly, but no, it's fine. Nice little standoff there with the two of them.
And it's something we haven't really seen tractor beams be used for, and so it's a nice way of, it's simple and effective. Simple and effective.
Foley will like Kira when we get to the DS9 reviews.
Yep.
Maybe after season 3. Maybe.
Where when they flatten
right
out.
away? No, I can't stand her, and I absolutely despise Ensign Ro. So I can't wait till we see Ensign Ro in TNG. Ugh. Anyway.
Yeah. And someone in the chat was also asking about black pips. You know, why is everyone promoted beyond the black pips into the full pips? And is there any black pips in the show? Yes, look.
Yeah.
Chief Engineer
has them.
Has them right there. But yes, salvage, good, classic. You know, we are a great crew. Although it's kind of obnoxious how many times it said, we are Starfleet. It's like, no one has ever said that until Discovery. And now it feels so forced. Yeah. It's like, you wouldn't say, it's like if you're in the army, you wouldn't say, we are army.
Yeah.
We are Marines. That's not exactly how you'd say it, you know? You'd say something else that would be more characterful. It just feels like they've already played it out. Like, once is fine. in certain situations, like for a battle charge. But they say like 5 times here.
Well, the one thing that bugged me wasn't that I didn't even really think about that, but the line that says those crates are brimming with unique Starfleet technology. Really? It's 100-year-old. He didn't care about it till now. So.
Well, they didn't know about it. I mean, I'm assuming this is oops, we found it for the first time. Yeah, it was odd that it would have been nice if they'd said, this is from the Dum Dum colony. We're like, oh, that's from TOS. This is this was the last convoy from the Muds planet with robots, unique treasures. But yeah, finding original series communicators and tricorders, while interesting, isn't going to be the treasures of. Yeah, I mean, it was a weird thing to say, and the fact that we never get any information about them, we never see anything, so therefore that line also doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme because it's barely even a MacGuffin, doesn't lead to anything.
Yeah. And the whole captain's saying, no matter what we do, we have to not turn this conflict violent. Mm-hmm. Loved it. Mm-hmm. That was great.
Because we'll start a war. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. She's a good captain. Unlike the guy who's not eating nacho cheese. That's okay.
No, and it's not con queso either.
No.
It's actually, they make a point of saying it.
Yep.
That's like 3 cantaloupes worth of puree.
That's so weird.
Cantaloupe. And the guys at Trek Culture are like, was it con queso? I think it was. It's like, no, just listen to the lines.
Yeah. But I was really happy, and this is my go-through again, to see all these 4 characters on screen at the same time. It doesn't happen very often. So this was kind of nice. Although I didn't really buy that Mariner bumped into her the way she did. Like, there's no catalyst. You're just like, yay!
Yeah.
Like, it feels very unnatural. Because obviously in the trailer, you're like, oh, it's the thing. But it just bumps into her. Like, it doesn't even mean the thing. It's just there to tell us the guy's a good negotiator, which is fine. But it's just like, couldn't you have thought of a better way of doing this?
Yeah.
I don't know. Very inorganic.
And the line from the preview from last week is a little bit changed because she says, you have any idea how hard it is to nacho cheese out of fur in a sonic shower? So that was interesting that was there. Dave Stelzer, $2. The last 100-year-old ship found had Scotty in it. Absolutely.
Well, that would have been a funny joke if there was another transporter buffer person, just like the janitor. You could have made a good joke out of that.
And his name was Scruffy.
Oh! That's good.
Yeah.
But talk about the problem you had with, or the note you had about how the cat doesn't necessarily know her. That was a really interesting point I thought last time.
Yeah, she points out, I've heard about you, how you're a disgrace, always goofing around. And she makes a joke about you should go work on Starbase 80. And the guy in the background's like, oh, burn Starbase 80. I've found out after looking some stuff up on Google that Starbase 80 is a thing that's in the novels. It's more of a literary reference. Because I was thinking, we hear of Starbase 131 and stuff like that in TNG all the time. But yeah, apparently Starbase 80 is a thing from the novels. So just want to point that out. But yeah, the fact that she doesn't really know Mariner, it seems, I thought that was kind of odd, and maybe they placed it a little bit earlier in the season. But to be fair, they haven't been on screen really together at all. There was one moment in sickbay where she's like, do you want me to heal those scars? I was like, no, well, congratulations. You look like a fucking scratching post. So, but other than that, they haven't really worked together or done anything. And the Doctor really hasn't had an episode to shine in, which is a little bit of a shame.
Yeah.
So, it was worth pointing out that it seems like she heard about Mariner, but never really met her in this one. But yeah. Anyway.
I mean, I like the idea that she's calling her out for being, oh, I know what you're like. You're that golden. You're for some reason you're still on the ship even though you're a menace. Even though at this point she doesn't feel like a menace anymore as much. Again, the balance is kind of odd here. But we when she was promoted, she went to all these meetings with her. Like they went to meetings together for at least a day or 2 or 3. So she talked with her in meetings while being lieutenant. So to act as if she doesn't know her is definitely odd. I mean, just there's lots of oddities in this one, but I appreciate though how Mariner isn't like they're more balanced. But then obviously our guy jumps in, diffuses the situation very well. He's great again. It feels like he's too much of a goody two shoes. He's an alien. He's trying to He's everyone tricked. It's so like happy and go lucky and pleasant and it's
Yeah, and he
confusing.
definitely seems like a competent, good officer, or officer material. It's even pointed out that back in the Starfleet days, he helped out with Boimler with the Nausicaans, and the whole every Starfleet officer has something good about them. That's why they're here. Don't let the bridge officers, the bridge crew get to your head. Baseline goodness to everyone in Starfleet, even Boimler. So it's like, yeah, Boimler's still the joke here, but it turns out it's not that way at all. But yeah, it's like he's been here all along, this guy, and the first time we've seen him. So, which you thought was a red flag.
Well, like I said,
an alien or something.
I mean, the Rick and Morty connection feels as if this is the Mr. Pooh butthole thing. But also the fact that it cuts these guys being like, isn't he just great? Oh, I love him. Like, it's just so, like, Mariner's never that positive, like, about people. So it's just a weird, but hey-ho. But they knew him in the academy, he was a good friend, etc., etc. But you would think at least I should have put him in other episodes. Like, we've noticed the Andorian lady, the old lady, the Vulcan that always scowls. Like, why couldn't he be in other episodes? I've never noticed him before. He needed to be there.
Yeah. Well, he's the red shirt of the week. Yeah. Then we get the Tindy and Rutherford thing where they're like wondering what's in the cases. They're floating around in space, and Rutherford says a bunch of cryo-frozen princesses.
Yes.
Which has kind of been a thing a few times. Or maybe some fruit. I don't know where that came from, but whatever. It should have, or maybe some self-sealing stem bolts, TOS style.
Yeah, say some vintage self-sealing stem bolts.
Yes, vintage would be great. That would have been freaking a lot hilarious. But the fruit threw me off. I was like, oh, what?
Bit abstract, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, then they talk about going for a spacewalk and cataloging it all, and she's like, why can't we just use the cargo transporters? Because a lot of that's too big. And then you find out that she actually didn't pass her spacewalk training. She got a B and didn't call the professor on it. She just accepted it and moved on. So, which what makes you wonder why she got a B? Was it because she's an Orion? And the professor's like, "Oh, I like you. You're getting a B," or what the situation is there. But yeah, that was a nice little moment between the two of them. And again, she's eating another taco salad. So that's at least twice we've seen her with a taco salad. So she loves that stuff.
And I did like the idea, cause, how do you pass the academy without passing something that simple? But I kind of like the vague explanation, because there are cleras, and how many people do you have in your class? Quite a few. And
call out, there's another scene with poutine.
Oh.
A big platter of
oh, God, yeah. That's good. Yeah. No, but I like these two chemistry and the fact that, he's like, oh, you love all this technical stuff. They are really technical geeks together.
Well, that being said, though, like I said in the other review, it'd be nice if they change things up a bit. Put Tindy with Boimler or Tindy with Mariner. And they might do that eventually, but it's always been the same pairings for all these episodes. And I would like to see something kind of mixed up a little bit to kind of get more of a different aspect of their character. Instead of just, I think she's cute and, I just want friends, that same couple, that could translate to another relationship as well. I mean, they kind of did that with the Ascension guy, where she kind of focused on him for the episode and not Rutherford. But it wasn't one of our main guys. Like, I'd like to see her interact more with Mariner or Boimler. So. Yeah,
I mean, and even as he fancies her, it's still sort of a gentle fancy at this point. So it's the same sort of note again and again. Yeah, it would be nice. I mean, they're a good pair, but they're also very similar characters now at this point, given that she hasn't been doing medical stuff. Like, even in this episode, the spacewalk is a engineer technical thing. That's his field for 4th time in a row. So whereas that's, it'd be great if she brought him to sick bay to fix something, and then they talk about something, and they need to sort that dynamic a bit. And honestly, though, Stuart, it does feel already they're just finding things for them to do. They're so unthought about that they're just finding things for them to do. But they're your second and third main character. Why is that happening already? This doesn't feel, you know what I mean? This didn't feel as important to the story. It's almost just a side note, even though it's half of the story, which is odd. Odd.
Yeah. But he offers to help her train with a new program he's developing on the holodeck. And then you get all of the holodeck references from TNG pretty much in one line.
There was a lot.
Yeah, it's not just for hanging out with Sherlock Holmes and Robin Hood and Sigmund Freud and Cyrano de Bergerac and Einstein and Da Vinci and Stephen Hawking and Socrates or Socrates. Whoa, Socrates. And the Cyrano de Bergerac confused me because I thought that that was a play that Beverly was putting on in the Nth Degree, a play, not a holodeck. But I think it also might have been a holodeck program at one point. I just can't remember when. But I know that Barclay was playing Cyrano in a play in the Nth Degree. So, not a holodeck thing.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely more a forced reference. They didn't, I mean, giving that many, it's unnecessary. This episode had just less of that balance. Just overall less of the balance.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I quite liked these Isolania chip bays to a certain extent. I didn't like they're just in the corridor. Well, I guess they are just behind walls, but that felt a bit odd. But I liked the idea that, yeah, you've got to have lots and lots of infrastructure to make the ship go. You kind of broke down the idea of them.
Explanation for these, too, that they're shield backup generators. They repair the shield gradually while it's damaged.
Mm-hmm.
That's what these are for. And next time they run a diagnostic on the bridge, it's going to be noted that they're not working. That's mentioned later. But this whole reference to the cores, when you think core, there should be one. That was quite fun. And they reminded me of the spore canisters.
Oh God.
Discovery. That's one thing that I noticed right away. But
you're right. I hadn't thought that, but I felt it, but I didn't think it. No, that's good. I like that.
Yeah. You didn't notice, but your brain did.
Yes. But I like, even though it's odd the way they, just it's maintenance, but it's a new bit of maintenance. And then they complain about there's this. Well, what is going on in the mess hall? Have these singers or dancers have actually come to the ship, or is it a holodeck? Is it holograms? Is it a live broadcast? Is it, because if it's actually them, then they got celebrities on the ship, but then wouldn't that be what's happening? Because they say they made eye contact with us, implying that's like they're actually there interactively.
Well, see, that was weird though. Yeah, because they talk about this choo-choo dance and how good it is. And Mariner says, I once saw the Zebulon sisters do it on Deep Space 3.
Yes.
And I'm just coming down from the high now.
Yes.
It didn't, to me, seem like that they were there. They were just going to see like a broadcast of it or something. But yeah, later they say, they looked right at me. And I think they mentioned the Zebulon sisters.
Yes.
I have to wait to get to that point.
And they added a third dance move, which implies it's
another Chew.
Yeah, another Chew. So it implies a new performance.
And it's Chew as in Eric Chew.
Oh,
our buddy Eric Chew, not Chew as in CHOO, like choo choo, like
right.
Train. Even though it is clearly a train, they spell it CHU, which is kind of confusing. I think it'd be better if it was choo choo, like train, but whatever.
Yeah. But
Brian Strait though, $5. Robin Hood was also Q, not the holodeck.
Yes.
Yes.
But I've got to pop out for a second, Stuart. I just put this on the. I'll jump into the holodeck bit so you can talk about that stuff. But I'll be back in a moment. Sorry.
Okay. And SWTX Chaser puts in $2. It's like a USO Bob Hope show. Yeah, maybe, but like I didn't expect that they were there. And then later, one of the lines is they looked right at me. Whatever. But yeah, basically their buddy there is like, hey, go get your choo-choo on. I'll take care of all this. Don't worry about it. And it's again, you think this is a super nice guy. He just is trying to do, the best thing for his friends. And then Boimler's like, hey, let's go get our choo-choo shirts. We got choo-choo shirts? Hell yeah, I made choo-choo shirts. So that was pretty awesome. So they go do that. And then we get Tendi and Rutherford in the holodeck, which is great. So they're basically, he's going to teach her how to spacewalk with the help of his new program, which is like Clippy. If you remember any Microsoft things from the 90s, you remember that Clippy, that little paperclip that would pop up. I see you're trying to do this or whatever. Definitely that's what Badgie is, and I love Badgie. I think he's a great idea. And as soon as I saw him, I said to Sylvia, merchandise. I want a little Badgie action figure for my desk. Even one of the Bendums. I don't know if you guys remember what Bendums are, but just imagine a badge with like bendy arms and stuff that you can bend with little wires in them. I think that'd be great. And apparently there's Badgie shirts now. So Badgie is Clippy meets Bill Cipher. Yeah. Badgie is basically the story from Voyager Revulsion. Yeah. Badgie was created solely to impress Tendi. He doesn't need to create an avatar for the teaching program. I don't know if he was designed specifically to impress Tendi. He was working on it beforehand and then said, oh, well, this is an opportunity to use it. It's not done yet, but I'm going to try to impress her with it. That's what I think. I don't think it was designed specifically for her, even though he does say, yeah, she's like, look at his little feet and legs. And he's like, yeah, I did make him cute. But it's important to know that it's training beta 2.5, so it's not a complete program. Well, it's not a finished program yet. So, and then the first thing he says, hi, can I teach you a lesson? Which I thought was ominous from the get-go. Like, can I teach you a lesson? Or I'll teach you a lesson. And it was funny because that's exactly what it turned into. The fact that he was hunting them down. I want to teach you a lesson. So yeah, it was an interesting take on it. Hi, can I teach you a lesson? That's the last thing I would have it say to me. Like, hey, can I give you a hand? Is there something you like to learn? Something like that. Not, can I teach you a lesson? I thought that was a little excessive. Fleetpaw Swiftback puts in $2. I want a bendy Badgie to sit on my computer screen. Yeah, I want a little Badgie just to sit on top of my monitor. I think that'd be fantastic. But yeah, the can I teach you a lesson thing was a little bit much.
Hey, look, I'm back.
Hey, we didn't even miss you. You were gone.
Oh. Last note, though, on the linear scene. I liked the guy offered to help, and surely if he offered to help, he thought he'd be good enough to do it all.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of work he's taking on. But maybe not.
And then immediately it's like, it was so hard. I had to make myself smarter. It's like,
he pack-cleansed himself.
Anyway, we'll get there when we get there.
But yeah, you've got the new Windows Assistant. And as I said in our review, like, I get it. It's hard not to get. It's silly. And it's a cartoon silly. It's not a, you know, like this would never happen in any other Star Trek. And that's like, well, okay, so now you cross into this new level of, well, it wouldn't happen anywhere else. You know.
Yeah, it brings it into the cartoon realm for sure, but Holodeck explains it, right? And that was funny because Olivia mentioned this morning in the chat that it's like, oh, I tried drawing the Trekyards badge as a badge and it didn't work because as you can see, you got that middle spike down the middle, right? But Justin, one of our admins, drew up that and it's like, yeah, it would work. So there's the Trekyards badgie in case you guys are interested in seeing that, which I thought was kind of fun. Got big shoulder pads, and yeah, the middle spike is not a penis; it's just his body. Just saying, because I thought, it would be hard to do a Trekyards version, but Justin said no because it's possible. So I just want to point that out. If anybody wants to make a Trekyards badgie character, feel free. Why is there? Now it's focused. Okay, good. But yeah, the can I teach you a lesson just seems ominous to begin with.
Well, it's a setup, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, this is Badgie, virtual tutor, and look at his little arms. And yeah, Rutherford's like, yeah, I made him cute.
Thing is, I would prefer, again, this episode sort of devolved for me, especially when it became a serial killer, basically. If he stayed like this and it was the gag was that he was super helpful and trying too hard and doing too much and trying to you could take it in a more like happy-go-lucky AI really trying to help and getting the wrong, and then for the happiest, like I'm like Mr. Meeseeks from there we go, Mr. Meeseeks from in Rick and Morty's like, I'm trying to help you, man, help me help you, come on, you want me to do this? Okay, I'll do it, and then it just keeps escalating as he like puts himself in knots. But as soon as he becomes a killer, I'm just like, oh, like it becomes Starfleety to just comic-y. It's a flying combat with arms trying to stab somebody. It's like, well, that's just a cartoon. I mean, there's nothing else to pull from there.
And as you said in the other review, I mean, the core becoming sentient and using the straps as arms and legs makes no sense. It would have been better, as I suggested, for that to be the core be put back in the wall, and it's looking for a consciousness. The ship gets hit, has the power surge, it attaches to the first thing it can find has enough teraquads of data or whatever, which is Badgie, and then makes Badgie evil, and Badgie starts going on a rampage. That would have made a lot more sense than the two separate stories.
And then because it's a shield matrix, it's able to create a holographical image that's then shielded, like can walk outside the holodeck, and then you get a version of the dude with his worst impulses, and you get the villain as just a person, but energized and whatever. That'd be all fun, but not so much. But then we get the holographic scene, and we get one of those examples where in uniform normally to now they've got holographic uniforms, so showing again that spacesuits, that this is easy to do.
Yeah. And Tab Extra puts in 20 krona and says, I was triggered by the office assistant.
Yeah. Well, I think those of us that knew about it, like, if you got it, it's like, oh, that little bleep.
Yeah, well, here's the moment that made me kind of laugh, where she says, yes, can you show me how to perform an untethered cargo retrieval in open space? And he's like, you see the loading bar, his face freezes. I laughed at that. I thought, okay, even in the future, they have those kind of issues with asking the computer to do something unexpected. And Rutherford's like, ugh. Sometimes it takes a second.
Yeah, that first time was good. But look at the space thing. Now this answers another question though that we had with Mariner jumping. It felt like oddly is that she obviously has a thruster suit. Like it's built in. She managed to thrust her away because she does. So Mariner was a lot more safe in her previous episode where she's jumping and trying to grab it. Like she was obviously thrusting herself, thrusting to go around. But also it makes them when she's saying, "What if I, what if I can't magnet and I flip away?" It's like, but you've also got a thruster suit now. Like it takes away the risk of what she was saying there.
Well, plus the ship's nearby; they would just beam you back. You're not going to float into
also that
gas giant. Yeah,
I mean, that's fear versus reality. But just the fact that she has a thruster suit as well, it's just another thing to add,
Yeah, but then they get their boots magnetically locked together, and it's kind of romantic. It reminded me of the scene from Voyager where Tom Paris and B'Elanna are out in space. In the suits for a little while, but yeah, I mean, nice romantic scene between the two of them. It's kind of cute. But again, they are trying to get some recover lost cargo, and they're like, he's like coming right up, and then it's loads, but it gets stuck, which again made me laugh because she's like, wow, look at him try. And then, he basically, they try restarting it, they try whatever, and eventually he gets mad and hits him and said, come on, you stupid glitch. And that worked.
Yeah, I liked their coming together magnet bit. I thought that was cute. And then, I don't get why he was that mad, though. It seems out of character for him. He's such a chill, nice-go-lucky guy. It just feels out of character for him. I know he's trying to impress her, but do you really think getting so mad, the maddest she's ever seen you be in front of her on a semi-date is going to really make her like you?
When she's even like, no, it's okay, it's cool. But yeah, I mean, if you program something and the first time it takes a little while to load, the next time it locks up loading, it's like, oh, I'm trying to impress her to make this. I'm sure that I'm good at this.
Yeah, but he goes from 0.
Got frustrated.
But he goes 0 to 8 when he should have been to 4. The build wasn't there because they had to have this scene where he kicks it, which is out of character, I would say, to show he's a dick to this AI. Like, he abuses this thing when he gets it wrong, which is also a harsh thing, because otherwise the reason for him to go homicidal is because his father abuses him. That's literally what this is. My dad hits me all the time when I'm doing wrong things, therefore I'm going to kill him. And we had to see him do that, otherwise it'd feel even more random. So you know what I mean? These things don't really feel right. It's a weird doesn't really connect properly. Like, I get what they're trying to do. I just don't think it works.
All-Star Guru puts in $2.
Thank you.
Mr. DNA meets the Elcar's Schoolfish AI.
Oh.
Oh, Mr. DNA from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Fleet Paw Swiftback puts in $5. Made it to 100. Let's hit 150. Hashtag make Fleet Paw pay. Hashtag Badgie likes bike. 162 people watching. Easy to get to 150, guys. Just hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit it. And by the way, you guys are doing great with super chats and stuff tonight. Keep it up. This is really good. So yeah. Danny Shields, €5.
Thank you.
It's an animated comedy show that maybe doesn't need the same level of scrutiny as a live action regular canon show.
Why not?
Exactly.
I mean, they clearly put as much work in as the normal shows. Have you seen the show?
If not more work than the newer shows.
So why would we not give them the respect to review it as much?
Yeah.
We like the show so much.
We understand it's animated, and we do make allowances for that.
Yeah.
It's canon accurate, canon worthy, and it's worth talking about and pointing out what they get right and what they get wrong, as we do with all Trek. So
I mean, this is the one episode where you've just got to accept it's a cartoon badge, it's a cartoon neural destroying alien. Like they don't work in live action, they work here fine. Like, this is the first one out of 6, which is very impressive, you know. So yeah, here less, this one more so, but it just leads to my less enjoyment of it, because you lose that original Star Trek vibe for more just the cartoon vibe. But anyway, these guys are happy-go-lucky friends. They're great, love the chemistry. They say, oh, you know what, you're not always as annoying. You know what, neither are you. And it feels lovely and equal. So it's a good little moment.
Well, this made it seem like this is where the Zebulon sisters were here, because they say, I can't believe I actually made eye contact with one of the Zebulon sisters. I forgot how to breathe. Yeah. But yeah, their friendship here is very much equal. And Mariner doesn't come off as being superior in this episode at all, which I think is great. And actually, Boimler seems quite competent, because he's always like rejecting the ideas of like, let's cover this up, let's hide this, when you think that's something that he would probably want to do. So I really appreciate that he was more by the book. So
well, they've both found a medium. Like, she's got him more breaking rules and he's got her more, you know.
Yeah. But they find Fletcher and he's like woozy. Oh, anyway, he nice memory or recreation there, kind of like in a black and white. But he gets phased by an unknown figure. And then he just remembers telling them the story of what happened just now. So, but
this is where this second viewing is so essential here, because you can tell instantly he's gone scrambled. Because it you know, and it's not ever explicitly said, but because he links his brain to, wait for this, Stuart, a shield grid computer,
a shield array core, yeah,
not even like the main computer or an AI or a shield matrix one. Why would a shield matrix make you smarter? It does shield calculations anyway. Like, that explicitly has ruined his brain. He was great, he was smart, he was a good achiever. And so from this moment onwards, he's a different character. End of story. He's a different man. And once you know that, you can watch the scenes like, okay, he's just an idiot. But he's also a smarmy idiot, you know? So, like I say, it's better as a second watch because you don't care about him from this point onwards. And you know that, and you can see the subtext of he's just lying his arse off in every scene.
Yeah. Plus, as Trekyards, we get some tech information here. Are those cores important? Well, kinda. They regulate the auto repair when the shield's damaged. So I love that. Cool. The shields automatically regenerate and repair themselves because of these cores. And then, like, next time they run a diagnostic on the bridge, they're going to find out that something happened. So we better work together to get this fixed. So Luke Celeste throws in $5. A nice Windows 95 reference would be Badgie turning blue and said he blue screened. Oh, that would have been good.
Yeah. But it's interesting to see how he was like, oh my god, like his voice even goes high. He's like, oh my god, guys, what happened? Like, it's such a drastic character change. And I thought, I thought he stole it straight away, but because he's an alien, like that was again, that's where I was going with it.
Yeah.
It's like he's obviously to blame, but I didn't expect the way it was going to go.
Well, yeah. I mean, when looking back on the episode, it's almost like he's McDuff from that episode of TNG. Can't remember that what it's called, but remember McDuff is one of the bridge crew, and it turns out he was an alien plant, not plant, but planted by the aliens. Anyway, yeah, that's kind of the vibe you get on rewatching this. Is like that's looks like what they were going for. I didn't get that the first time, but yeah. So anyway, they come up with the conclusion that the only people shifty enough would be Delta shift. Now they've always rubbed me the wrong way, says Mariner. I mean, they do our jobs while we sleep. It's so weird. But yeah, even like you see the four Delta characters that are supposed to represent these guys. One of them has an eye patch, much like Rutherford's cybernetic implant thing.
Yeah, they don't focus on the other two, so I didn't even notice them.
Yeah, you got the Tendi analog, the Tendi. She's got the white boots. She's got the red hair instead of green, and pink skin. I mean, it's just like so obvious.
Well, they're kind of like almost like fan film alternate universe people.
Yeah, yeah.
Although I was wondering, I don't think they are, but are these the actual same bunks that they sleep on them? Because obviously only one group needs to sleep on the bunks at any given time.
No, because if you look at the numbers on the bunks, this is A13005, and the other ones, theirs are A12. So probably like a row over.
Yeah, yeah. Although one of the little tiny note I noticed when they say Delta shift.
Yes.
The guy's a second behind. When they say it's like, oh, yeah, Delta shift, like he's that dumb now that he can't even like, you know what I mean? He's behind them every step of the way.
Yeah, when they both say it at the same time, I noticed he's off by like a second.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, that's what they're saying. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And I actually, this is again is a window, just like buffer time, into the world that we never see, which is, yes, people aren't on shift all the time. You have to sleep, but the ship always got to be crewed. So this is the alternate people, and you conceivably, are always asleep and awake at a different time, but doing the same jobs. It's weird. Like, I'm sure you'll even get evaluated in comparison to them. It's like, well, yeah, but the night shift guys did your job better. You know what I mean? Because night and day is not really as important on a ship because it's just flying 24 hours a day. Or, if you're from Orion, 29 hours a day. The concept of time is different wherever you are. It's interesting the level of hostility, but it would have been, I think, stand out why until they bond at the end, showing that it's more rivalry and they're easily friends. It's that fun rivalry. I just wish there was a bit more playfulness in the rivalry because, especially with the Mariner Algor, she's so venomy. She's like, oh, what are you doing here? Like, there's nothing else there apart from meanness. It would be more if it was, a bit more playful. I don't know if that's just me, but it felt a little bit too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I totally agree. It was just very much too hostile.
Yeah. Then it softens at the end, which I like.
Danny Shields, though,
Thank you.
€5. How hilarious was seeing Mariner expose traditional Starfleet values that she would never put any officer in danger except for Boimler.
And I think they doubled down on Mariner being a good officer. It's like, yes, she does believe in it all. She's really valued. It's just she's not by the book. And sometimes the book, I mean, come on, how many times have we had to do forms that in reality are so extraneous? Like, they might be useful in the grand scheme, but they're so wasteful, Like, the red tape is almost more problematic than the action. If it takes twice as long to sign the form as it does to do the action, there's a problem there. And that's kind of her life. It's like, but I don't need to triple check it 19 times. 3 is fine, etc. But she definitely doubled down as like, no, I believe in this shit. Like, I am here to do my job as good as I can. I'm just not going to waste my time on things that don't make sense. Yeah.
Danny Shields, €5. Jericho loved a good Delta shift. Jellicoe. Yes, he did. Maybe that's why the Delta shift are all douchebags. Because they're mirroring Jellicoe.
Yeah.
But the whole... Oh, go ahead.
No.
But the whole, are you accusing us of assault? Dude, we were at the same concert.
Yeah.
When they added the third shoe, I saw you guys cheer up. I did too.
That's cute. It's really cute. I like that. It's a good payoff.
Oh, and the whole don't talk about my dad thing. Yeah. I'll take you to the dance. because he undoes his flap and goes to fight. And she's like, I'll take you to the dance and I'll pick you up at your mom and dad's house. You don't talk about my dad. And later, when the thing is being ejected through the airlock, it says that. It says, don't talk about my dad.
Yeah. And I liked how they undid the flaps to represent we are now off, off the line. A small thing. And again, the fact the guy, and I know this is all self-payoff. He was set up at the start to be a great negotiator. And how does he negotiate here? He walks up to them and yells at them. So I understand, like, the contrast is the point. I get that. But again, it's a second watch. You have to understand the second watch, because it's just like, yeah, he's lost all of his ability. He is as lower, like, I'm talking about him being fired at the end, what he means being fired at the end, but he is out of Starfleet. Like, you know what I mean? He is on his way out as of today, unfortunately. And that's just the way that is.
But then we get the ship being under attack because they started whipping debris into the Cerritos because they don't have weapons.
Mm-hmm. Which was an unusual acknowledgement.
Which, yeah, launching the cargo against us. It's like, wow.
I love the...
And then the captain's like, these guys are lucky I'm so ethical and considerate.
She's great. Like, she follows the rules to a T. It's like, until the end anyway. And then we get a great inside the totally not a Klingon ship. That's not at all a Burrell bridge with Klingon-esque consoles and colours and lighting. Not at all, Stuart. No.
Then they detach from the rest of their ship and they grab the hull of the NCC-502, which I want to point out is like the main part of the ship where the nacelles would attach, and they whip it against the ship.
And that's
the reason point
that
out is because later they grab the exact same piece.
Well, more so, it's even more complete. This is a half a ship. That's a full ship.
Yeah.
And
this could be that this is maybe one of the sleds that attach to it, but still, it wouldn't have the same registry and the same. Anyway, that's nothing here.
But this is a big bit of wreckage to shoot. Like this is a genuine big thing, and they ouch. I do like the guys like, let me shoot my weapons. Like I do like him here.
I also like the fact that the shields are fading fast. Because they're missing one of the cores that repairs the shields on the fly, which is great.
Why are they going so fast? You know? Yeah.
And she's like, we're not going to fire. We have to find a way to end this peacefully. We're Starfleet, damn it. Anyway. Then we're back to the holodeck. And because of the attack on the ship, there's power fluctuations. And you see the holodeck get affected and... Badgie glitches for a second, and non-essential power has been diverted. And then Badgie comes back.
Back with a vengeance, possibly?
There's no safety protocols. So they can't end the computer simulation or the holodeck simulation. He asks Badgie to run a diagnostic, and Badgie rushes by him and clips him. Didn't mean to hurt you. Like Clippy. Badgie, what the hell? And then I love how he bites this thing out of his spacesuit, and you see the air start coming out. I thought that was very well done, actually. I was like, is there going to be air escaping from that? Considering they're in
There is.
Yeah, I know, a holographic environment, but yeah, it was great.
Yeah, and I'll give them credit. The effects, like the way they visualize the holodeck malfunctioning, like it's a 2D room with a 3D space outside and inside. Like the way I visualized it was great with the shimmering effects, especially when the lighting's hitting it. Gorgeous looking effects. But yeah, it definitely shifts here very dramatically. And yeah, it obviously they designed this Badgie to be more sinister than good looking because he's sinister for most of it. But he does the dime turn. You're like, oh, I buy this. For some reason, this badge with this face, it is not a fun thing to look at. And that's quite impressive considering, Yeah.
All-Star Guru puts in $2.
Thank you.
Computer made a Cardassian effects after ejection.
Yeah, there's a lot of different sound effects in this one, for sure.
Danny Shields, €5. Was that the ship that delivered Charlie X to the TOS Enterprise in its remastered TOS? It was the same style of ship, but a different registry.
501.
Yeah, it was NCC 501. This was NCC 502.
So pretty close.
Was the Antares class freighter, whatever, which was, as we talked about yesterday, or whatever day we fucking talked about that, was that it was originally. And I'm frozen. God damn it. Oh, there we go. I was originally in the animated series and then put in the remastered Star Trek. And Veloci puts in $2. The second hull should have said NCC 511. Why is that? Just to be a different ship.
I mean, yeah.
Jarzia, $5. I feel like Captain Freeman being so passive until the ship was basically disabled was taking a shot at Picard doing similar things on TNG. Yeah, I never considered that, but yeah, I'd buy that.
But yeah, the biting
anyway,
spacing thing, a bit graphic, and the fact that it goes so horror so quickly kind of feels very Alien-esque. It's definitely like, oh, damn. And I was expecting the air thing to be a problem. Like, he's dying now. Like, that is now air loss. They kind of escape that pretty quickly. I mean, it's fine how they do, but... and I missed it the first time. This is the time that the spacewalk happens. The cut to them jumping. So it's such a quick shot. And then suddenly, Stuart, to my amazement, computer change program. But Stuart, I thought the hologrammatical was breaking. How did they manage to swap programs literally flawlessly?
Yeah, I expected him to say that and it like load half of a thing or whatever.
Yep.
But no, it perfectly works fine. Who knows?
So it is both, because if it's only the safety protocols are down, why couldn't they say computer activate Starfleet Academy and then we're under attack? Use your phasers. Pew. Like, I know they're ensigns. They're not smart people. I get that. But there's a billion ways they could have solved this thing, and they didn't do any of them.
Well, John Woke makes a good point. I assume that the other locations, quote, were all part of the Badgie training program, and that's the only thing that was working. I mean, I'd buy that. One would be Winter Survival. One would be Bajoran Survival. I don't know.
It's a leap. I appreciate the thought process. That was clearly not intended. But I could probably buy that. But then I'd want to.
I'd buy that.
But then I'd want to see what is in the training program then. Like if they'd seen Cardassians running through the streets firing, it's like great. We'll lose them in the brawl, and then in the snow.
Yeah.
I don't know what you'd see there. Something else.
Well, just Winter Survival. Just
sure. Okay. Yeah.
That climate. Right?
Well, they would think if they got a spacesuit for one, why couldn't they? Why wouldn't the holographic thing give them
coats?
Yeah. But all credit for them though, and although this sequence goes by so quickly, it's really hard to appreciate. But now in stills, I mean, the Bajorans, they look happy and chill. They've all got the correct makeup, and in fact, when we cut to looking at the monument stuff, it's exact replicas of DS9, the map paintings, and I knew it was. I remembered it was somewhere, but the thing on top of the mountain is from also DS9. We see that in map paintings, so is genuinely a place from less high because the steps would not make sense if it wasn't as high. But yeah, we're on Bajor. Another cameo reference.
And you skipped over the fact that the Bajoran gets his head ripped off.
Yeah.
Which is quite graphic.
It's extremely graphic. I mean, it's wow.
As soon as I saw that, I said to Sylvia, "Oh, people are going to complain about this." I mean, I thought it was fine. I thought it was a little excessive, but I thought, whatever, it's what it is. But I know people are going to complain. And then he breaks the guy's arm and says, "Fun fact, I'm going to rip your eyes out."
It's a fun fact, to be fair.
Fact. Oh, that fact wasn't fun.
Yeah, and I mean, Peel. If Peel complained about Icheb's eye, I mean, this is far more graphic, and it's so unnecessary. Like, all I had to do, I would have bought it if he would headbutt them and stab them and kill them and dead. That's graphic enough, but this is absolutely awful and so unnecessary. I would get it if it was like a Klingon or like a Gorn, someone in contact. I get, was it's meant to be a nice looking thing doing this, but it's just unnecessary. And yeah,
everybody's pointing out these are holograms. Icheb's eyes were real. Actually, it wasn't. It was an artificial eye. Just go back and watch it. You can cut the wire. But I mean, these are all photons.
But graphic is still graphic. I mean, So killing non-people graphically is fine. Oh, okay. Harsh.
Velocity puts in $5.
Thank you.
I detailed the theory on the ships in the spoiler review comments. NCC 502 is a known ship, but the class is wrong. Well, yeah, NCC 501 is also wrong. It should be a Saladin class destroyer. So It is what it is. Fleet Plus Swiftback, $5. Continuity error here. All the Bajorans' earrings are on the wrong ear here. They're supposed to be on the right ear, not left. Okay. Sure, I'll buy that. Danny Shields, €10. Thank you very much. There have been Q references in the last 2 episodes. Do you think when Q does turn up, he'll tell this low-level ship to stop referencing him because it's distracting him from his true love? Yes, that'd be awesome. Like, why do you keep calling me?
I can't be bothered with you guys. Yeah.
I gotta go take care of my Picardy.
Or my Janeway babe. Or my you know, itchy friend, son, you know.
Yeah. Broken Speaker, $2. I liked it. Oh, and money. Well, thank you very much, Broken Speaker.
Thanks. And guys, if you do like it, no shame, no shame. Yeah, I mean, I said to someone in the comments, like, some people love Star Trek 09, so we all have different levels of enjoyment, non-enjoyment. That's fine. You know, unlike other channels on YouTube, we're not gonna rail against anybody for what they believe or think or feel. That's not the point. We're here to express what we think and give reasons in a more technical sense, because we can all say we do or don't like something, but we actually want to explain why. That's important to us. And therefore, as long as you understand why we think it, that's the best way. Because if you love it, just give us why. You know? And we might disagree, but at least we'll understand. But Stuart, do you understand how many likes we have, or do you not understand and want more? That's my real question to you.
I don't understand.
Okay.
We only have 121 likes and 160 people. We should easily have 150 likes. That's our next goal. Let's get up to 150, guys. If you haven't hit that like button, hit it. Make it blue. Because if it is not blue, you did not do. As they say.
But then the sequence. You see the NCC 502, Stuart?
Again, this is another part of the hull. Now, see, this would have made sense if this sequence was first. If this sequence was first, because there's more of the ship there. So if they had thrown this against the Cerritos first, and then later grabbed the other piece, which was more minimal without that front part, it would have made more sense, because it broke the first time. But anyway, they throw it against the ship again. And just a little issue.
And that's interesting, because if it didn't have this close-up out of focus and just had the being flung, it's hiding it's dumb 02. It could have been 602. Yeah. You know, you could have justified it. Now, I'm wondering if this is a convoluted reference to the idea that there's actually multiple 502s in beta canon.
Probably.
I mean, that's giving them a weird bit of credit.
Well, it's something that they would do, though.
Yeah.
Like, they know the canon well enough that I think that's something they would do.
Yeah. But I do wish, certainly here, that, I mean, this is all we're seeing in the TOS. Them flinging the same ship at the ship twice. That's it. I mean, there's not... Oh, it's so minimal, you know? It's so lacking any meat. But hey, that is a big old ship to fling at them. I mean, I'm surprised their shields are still holding. That's a lot of kinetic force they're flinging. Damn.
Yeah, and Eugene says Pa Wraith Worshipper maybe, also in TNG. So there you go. Yeah, a lot of people pointed that out in my first reaction review last night, that they were all Pa Wraith worshippers because the earring was on the wrong side, but don't know about that.
Okay. But this is the point where I was intrigued that we go. The ransom says, "Captain, we can't say more. We have to shoot." It's like, that's an act of war.
Yes.
And it's like, but
please let me shoot their warp core. I've been very good this month.
Okay, that is the best line. That is the best line. Yeah. But it's like, I mean, guys, just shoot their weapons grid. Oh, I guess they haven't got any. Shoot their tractor beam.
They don't have weapons.
Shoot their tractor beam then. Shoot their engines. Like, I mean, we'll talk about that at the end, but the escalation factor of let's kill them then. There's no middle ground here. It's either we won't hurt them because we're Starfleet, or we'll kill them all because we're Starfleet. I don't understand the lack of, like, Ransom Ship offering any other solution. It's weird to me. I don't understand that. And since you've already destroyed the ships you're here for, I guess the cargo's still whatever, but surely those cargo modules, like, beam the smallest ones of the cargo transporter? I mean, surely some of the boxes, they don't look too big. I don't know.
I would have liked to find out what the cargo was, but anyway.
Even if it was empty, as an end joke, beams aboard, or, someone said in the comments, like, just tribbles. And it's like, oh no!
or skeletons of tribbles.
Oh no.
So they're supposed to be full of grain, but there's like skeleton tribbles in there. That'd be funny.
You went mean.
Yeah, I love the whole. I thought you said this was trash and wasn't worth fighting for.
We're not fighting.
We're not fighting. Well, avoiding damage is fighting. Ugh.
That I thought was great. I liked that as a joke.
And then the fuck you or the beep you from Martog was great.
That was laugh out loud because it's so random in like a.
Yeah.
No, I hate you. Fuck you. It's just like what, what? That was good. I like that. That was. Yeah, he was fun.
Let's see. Then we get
Red Alert.
Yes.
Oh, they realise we're obviously being, oh dear, not going so well because obviously, yeah.
And the guys blaming the Dracani, the bad guys, the scavengers. And it's like we need to scan the ship for intruders. It was one of them that did it. So they all go get their scanning equipment, their tricorders, and then they find the core on his bed. Danny Shields, though, €5, was desperately hoping for a Riker and Freeman FaceTime about Fletcher blaming Thaddeus for the warp core breach. Riker and Freeman FaceTime about Fletcher blaming Thaddeus for the warp core breach. For our warp core breach. Who is Thaddeus? Thaddeus Fletcher? I don't know. Yeah, so this shows too that this was not the same bunks as Delta Shift because they were at the bunks talking to them about it, and this was sitting right there under a blanket, like it's quite obvious. So someone yesterday said something about a shaved tribble, then I thought that would be some crazy looking shit. Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, Thaddeus is Riker's kid. Ah, yes, Thaddeus Riker. Thank you guys. I forgot. Don't blame me. Anyway, yeah, we find the core in his bed, and they're framing me. They're framing me.
I do like the like. Okay, we don't pace. Nope, right here. Like it's an instant stop. I mean, and it also shows how dumb he is because he put it on his bed with a sheet. Like it makes so much more sense second time round. But yeah, the way he says the aliens are framing me, he's not fun to watch, but I understand. But they want to support him. And this is where he grovels and such. And then basically we have to tell everybody, we have to tell people. But Mariner's still like, okay, we will support you. Which is again, she wouldn't have done that in episode 1 or 2. She's a team player now. They've made each other grow, and that's why it feels much more balanced. But he does explain what happened to him, Stuart. So tell me what happened to him.
Well, when he sent them away to the choo-choo dance, he was trying to get it all done. He was trying to get it all done by himself, but it was so hard. And he was like, it would be so much easier if I was smarter. And he says, wait, the computer's smart. Maybe I can make myself smart. So he hooked himself up directly to the shield core. And anyway, and then you get a sequence where the circuit board reconfigures into his face. Neural pathway established.
Neural pathway. Adding all angst. All angst. Yes.
Drooling on himself, and he pulls out the plug. And but I didn't get smarter. I broke it and I peed my pants. So I hid down here and told you guys I'd been attacked.
And what do you think of this whole thing? Because this is the reveal.
It's just remarkably stupid.
Mm.
I don't know. It just didn't make any sense. Plug yourself into the main computer core if you want to be smarter. Like you said earlier, like why is shield? I don't understand. And why'd you say it's fine, guys? Go to the thing, because he felt like so confident at the time. Like, yeah, I got this, no problem. How hard is it to replace isolinear chips? It would just take a long time. It wouldn't be hard.
Nope. It's like working on Amazon. It's like working at Amazon Depot. It's like it's annoying, tedious, and long, but it's just beep, 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 dum. Like it's not hard. Just the amount is hard. But the caveat here though is that this is dumb character relaying the story. So the way he says it is, I want to be smart and go, so I did this thing. Whereas I think if the smart him was expressing it, it would be a whole different situation. But like, did he just have this helmet? Did he replicate a helmet? Yeah. And why is it a cord like an old, VGA internal cable?
Like an old printer cord.
Yeah, exactly.
Ribbon cable, yeah.
But I think if you're going to go this stupid as a storyline, he had to say, I thought it would make me smarter, make me go faster. Like you had to go pack-led with it, you know?
Yeah.
Or
Find out his dad's half pack-lid or a full pack-lid. That's why he's like, don't talk about my
oh,
dad.
never go full pack-led.
Because he's embarrassed.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
never go full pack-lid.
Do you get it? Do you get where I reference that from?
Yeah. Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Guys, do you get a reference? Super chat if you get the reference. Because I think also it would have been funny then if a natural reference if Marin and Bond had sort of moved to the side and said, "Does he sound like a pack-lid to you?" Yeah. Shit. Like that again would have been good. I'm thinking this is what another group said, that this is a Spock's brain reference to the hat, the stupidity of it, like how dumb it looks, and it is. You know.
Well, yeah, somebody in the chat there said, Ozzy says the helmet is from Spaceballs. It looks exactly like one of the Spaceballs guys' helmets. Danny Shields, though, €5. Fletcher went full nth degree Barkley, although not. And John Woke puts in $2 and says, wait until the pack-lids get one of these helmets. Oh, good God. But yeah, he's like, help me out, guys. You got to cover for me. And he's like, all we do is cover for you. And the mayor's like, fine, we'll help. We'll get this. We'll figure it out. We'll fix it. And then he's like, I actually learned a lot today. What matters is we're Starfleet. And when we make mistakes, we learn. And then she gets cut off because the thing comes to life. And again, the straps, I guess, are force field infused straps because they can grab things. Again, I think it would have been better if the consciousness had been transferred into Badgie. And that's why Badgie went haywire. I think it would have been a more cohesive story. Plus, tying all the elements together, all the storylines together, so it's not a separate, contained Tindy Rutherford story. I kind of like the idea that all three of the different stories converge into one at the end. It would have been great.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a natural thing to do as well.
Yeah.
Have him be like not that smart, but not go dumb, but just be over his head. Like he was taking shortcuts. Fine, he did the thing. Maybe he thought, if I put my brain into the computer, it'll do all the work for me. It infects the ship, etc. Yeah, you could do so much more interesting stuff with that rather than being super literal here.
Yeah, but the thing just wants to get smarter, like he did. So it just keeps grabbing stuff and incorporating it.
It's so stupid. It's beyond stupid. Like what is happening? This is a simple computer with chip slots that you slide into a wall. Why would it have these cables? Why could they be taut enough to stand? Why would it have? This is just a cartoon full. This is just the villain of the week, monster of the week. It's Ben 10. It's animated. It's just, honestly, this is the moment it lost me as the episode. Because this is before Badgie goes homicide as well, like proper homicide. This lost. At this point onward, I'm lost. The episode's gone. I just don't buy it.
Well, he's like, you help me or I'll say this was all your idea. I'm not going down for this. And Mariner's like, dude, what are you doing? It's so not or what you're doing is so not Starfleet.
Yeah.
And he's like, you break the rules all the time.
Yeah.
Only the dumb rules that shouldn't be there so I can do my job better.
Yep.
I'd never put anyone in danger. Except maybe Boimler.
Sometimes. Yeah. No, I like that. That was a good line for sure, and it makes her look good. But yeah, just the whole situation just lost me. And why is no one else here? Why does no one else hear this creature the entire time? Like the ship has people in it that walk the halls. We've seen them, and people I'm sure can hear.
Their shift is on duty, so there's nobody in their bunk corridor because everybody's on duty.
Yeah, but as it goes through corridors, like you can hear noise.
Oh, well, yeah, other corridors, yes, but in this corridor, I'd buy that nobody else is there because they're all doing their shift.
But everything
you see them
after that,
when they're all lounging around. That's when it's busy.
Everything after that, though.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, he's dumb. They're dumb. They make it go. But now then you get to the stairs. Which I didn't mind this scene. I liked the idea that the program made the badge so real, it had physicality, and this was. And I if this was a better done episode, I would have liked more his constant, really gruesome jabs, just like I'm gonna cut off your skin, I'm gonna do it.
Fun fact: I'm gonna burn your heart in a fire.
Like better episodely written, that would have been funnier. Didn't
But
quite
this is
work.
where he says, I was just trying to impress you. The program wasn't ready.
No shit.
And she's like, no, it's an impressive piece of technology. You did
Well,
fantastic. And she's like, come on, Badgie, you can do it. Oh, wait a minute. What am I saying?
that made me laugh.
Like
as
she's
well.
rooting for him at the same time. And he's like, actually, he is a killing machine, isn't he? Why hasn't he murdered us yet?
Yeah.
And then he says, what, the physical limitations shouldn't apply to him. And then it's like, maybe we can freeze him out. And he changes the program again. So environment 83. It would have been cool if you said like Andorian southern continent or something. Another reference, but
Or
environment 83.
Or the second moon, the moon with the
Yes,
white
yes.
Andorians. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Or Breen Homeworld.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, then we get back to the battle in space, and you see the nice shield bubble when another piece of debris hits, which doesn't match up with when the nacelle hit. Because when the nacelle hit, and you could see like but it was very much close to the hull. This is a huge shield bubble when the next piece of debris hits. But anyway, shields are down to 40%, and automatic repair is down. Switching to manual.
Which surely would work quite well as well. Like, if manual wasn't pretty effective, I'm not sure,
You can see the automatic one going down quite often. So yeah. Now 150 people watching with 137 likes, guys. Can we hit 150 likes? We only need 13 more people. 13 people out there that haven't hit like. You know if it's you or not. You got that guilty twinge. Just hit the like button.
Yes.
Do it. It's a challenge.
It is. But then you reveal the actual monster, and the less said the better. Just going to move straight past that. Oh, then he says, let's feed it more, and then we'll say it's a cue that... I mean, that's funny enough as a line, but it's like, wow, you're the dumbest guy ever.
I say a Q showed up and caused all this.
It's just stupid.
And let it beat us up, and everybody will believe us because we're all busted up.
I mean, it's funny enough, just so stupid. Yeah. But I do like the hard cut to him being tied up. That was funny.
Tied up. Yeah. And as they're pulling it through the hallway, it grabs a light panel. It grabs the map on the wall.
Yeah.
Or which was great.
And then they're like, you know what? We're good work as a team. Yeah, we are. Because they say, we shouldn't always just be lower decks solidarity. And it's like, yeah, but we work well together. Well, we'll be solidarity. It's like, it's a nice moment. They have a catharsis. It's good. Yeah. It's nice to see. And I wonder if I wonder if we're going to lead then to the end of the season where that friendship is not going to blossom into like love or anything, but like a really big trust moment, which is like, I actually do trust you. It's like, really? It's like, yeah, I do. Help me. Some like big, from where they started of like, are you a square to like, I trust you. That hopefully we get that.
Yeah. But they can't get it to the transporter because it's too big. So the airlock's right there. She whips her her tricorder in there.
Was it the purple one though? I think it wasn't her purple. Okay, good. Phew.
Purple. There was no purple stripe on it. Okay. Good call.
Yeah.
That would have been funny though if it was like without the other alien, she wouldn't have had it with her or something. Anyway.
Yeah. One.
And
yeah.
And this is where they hit the button, and as they do it, he says, "Don't you talk about my dad?" As it gets sucked out or blown out into space.
Yes.
Sir. Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, it goes right towards the Drukmani ship.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's the moment from the trailer, like, oh, we're gonna get so fired for this.
Oh yeah. Which I like as a line. It's not a bad line. And I'm wondering like what. So obviously this thing makes no sense anyway. But what are the crystals coming out? And what's it wrapped up with? Like how is this thing like? It hasn't got a replicator inside of it. How is connecting the same pad 6 times to itself doing any of this? I don't. It does
magic.
This is not what the technology does. Like if it was a replicator module, fine, sure, but it's completely nonsensical. Yeah. But yeah, it goes with the ship. The ship does. Oh, the ship was huge, isn't it? Wow. But at least it's a bubble. Good for them for doing a bubble. Back to the bridge. I do like this. It's just the captain's like, okay, we've tried everything. The show's about to fail. We've tried diplomacy. We've tried not killing you. You know what? We're gonna do. And she says, well, I mean, you've got the dialogue there. Give us her speech. It's actually a really good little speech. It's a good speech.
Okay, let's see.
It's kind of the epic. She's gonna prioritize her crew. You know, that's
I have
important.
done everything I can to respect their sanctity of life, to avoid conflict and give them the benefit of the doubt. The Drukmani have given me no choice. Shax, target their warp core. And he's like, yes! Oh no, we've waited too long. Weapon systems are down. And then the doctor says we need to get the crews into the escape pods now. Prepare to abandon ship. And then that's when they see the thing break into the Drukani ship. Drukmani. God damn it. And then we see the and it like drifts off the side of the screen. So yeah, she did a really good Starfleet captain job this week. Danny Shields, €5. Off topic, but how great were the Star Trek Day events? Do you plan on covering those? I haven't watched the Star Trek Day events yet.
I mean, they're really short panels and little moments, and they're, I mean, great if they're good, but yeah, I mean, I watched the trailer for Lower Decks Discovery, but
yeah.
No, not particularly engaged. I mean, we haven't heard any great news, so they obviously didn't announce anything particularly. You know, nothing has been said from it, so obviously it wasn't overly important in the grand scheme.
But then they're like, we did it. We don't know what we did, but we did it. And Shrax grabs the doctor and kisses her.
Yeah.
And I expected her to react somehow, but
she's fine.
It's funny. It'd be funny if the scar on his eye is him trying this before, and she like slashed him with her claw, like, and that's why his eyes messed up.
Well, basically, you're saying this is an Avengers joke.
Yes. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. But no, I like the non-battle. There's a lovely sense of guilt-free conscience with that. I like the.
Yes. James Wheeler says, "Do we recognize the captain of the Drukmani ship? Clue: he has an eye patch." Yes, it was obviously Martok.
Yes,
we've pointed that out before.
Definitely needed more dialogue though. But he was. I mean, that's basically like a 5-minute record. But he was. I mean, I said to you in the other review, he even looked like JG.
Yes, absolutely.
In his own way. But I like the weapons table joke that I thought was funny. And yeah, the way they this is the thing that we thought was like a garbage pod blowing up in the trailer. So this is from the trailer as well. We're pretty much out of trailer stuff now. But I love their confusion. And yeah, the kiss was entertaining. I was like, oh, cool. Why not? I mean, why? But also why not? But yeah, we're back in the snow. They're walking. They're fine. They didn't say, computer, provide us, you know, any sort of garb, which they could have done.
Well, yeah, Rutherford's like, go ahead, Tindy, we got this. It's fine. We're making distance. And he turns around and
that's nice.
Confronts him.
It's nice. He's saying, "I'll take it for you. I will save you." Nice. It's not harped on. It's an underdone moment, but I like it.
Yes. Yeah. And then Badgie's like, "I'm gonna kill you, and then I'm gonna slit your throat of your little green friend there and take a bath in her blood." And then it comes down to a fist fight, and pretty bloody fist fight, I gotta say. But you know, and references. I don't know, gets stabbed with an icicle. The whole, I'm going to wear your skin, I'm going to cut your foot off, and then diplomatic immunity.
I don't get that line.
And then gets his neck. I think it's his neck broken.
What did that mean, diplomatic immunity? I don't get the context of that.
It's from Lethal Weapon 2. The bad guy's like, diplomatic immunity. And gets shot in the head. It's just been revoked. I don't know.
Right.
I don't think it's a Star Trek reference per se. It's just
right.
Right after the line, I'm going to cut your foot off. Diplomatic immunity.
I mean, this scene I think is terrible. I just hate it. It's a bad Star Trek scene. It's a bad fight. It's too graphic. It's vicious. Why does he?
Peter versus fight graphic.
It's also like, okay, so the computer has made a holographical comm badge and then given it some sort of physical form. Why does he think punching it will stop it? It hasn't got a brain, a nervous system. Like, what do you think is going to happen here? There's, you know what I mean? There's no thought behind this at all in terms of beyond, it'll be a fight. But it just, it's I don't like it. Except the cool lightning hits the holographic emitter. That's cool. I like that. But yeah, I just think it's a really...
Like the lightning in the storm was the holodeck malfunctioning, which was a neat touch.
Yeah.
But the whole "you can't hurt me, father," maybe with your disappointment, but not with your fists.
Yeah. I mean, I like he calls him
But then he's like,
father,
then he
but
admits. Then he's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry I yelled at you, son. I was just trying to impress Tindy. I mean, look at her. She's so cute." So you get he definitely likes Tindy. Um, but yeah, then he freezes and then gets his neck snapped. So I don't know. It's all right, I guess. Badgie. And then you get the chief engineer doing his job in engineering and restores power. And that resets the holodeck. Hi, can I teach you a lesson? Does he remember trying to kill us? Remember what? Can I teach you a lesson? And then how it ends, like, thanks, Badgie. I'm here if you need me. I'm always here. And the door closes.
I do think that was just a comedic. Like, he doesn't really know or care. He's been poorly programmed. I do like. I mean, I do like. It's awful that he breaks the dude's neck. It makes no sense. It's a ridiculous little moment. But I do like the sudden contrast to now he's back. Hey, he's like, oh my god, you know, it's like the alien. Well, no, it's like a bishop in Aliens. Or I guess whoever was the first one being evil, and then suddenly, oh, he's fine. That's oh, maybe not. So I like that contrast. But yeah, it was But yeah, then we're back on the thing. Carnage has been wrought. I did like how the entire it felt like, oh no, these guys have come in force. You know, they're never down here now. So chief security, chief whatever. It's like there's been we had stuff going up there, but so much stuff happened here, guys.
An unauthorized airlock ejection, missing a computer core, and somebody attacked the Drukmani ship.
Yes.
You three better have one hell of an explanation.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he gets promoted and assigned to the Titan, because of his idea to weaponize an isolinear core against the Drukmani.
Yes.
Which, if this was a TNG episode and the main bridge crew were dealing with things and all of a sudden something else stopped the attack, and it was an ensign just that happened to decide to maybe make a weaponized thing, I don't think that would go over quite so well. But oh well, whatever. It's fine. Danny Shields, €10. Panels were 20 plus minutes per show. Really good and worth watching for the shows you love. The DS9 and Enterprise ones were great for me. Lovely tributes to Aaron and Renee. I'll have to check them out then. I just haven't had a chance yet. So
just no hurry. I mean, they couldn't announce anything, so it's not like it's news. It's more just there's been so many panels with so many people in the last one. But this is, I mean, I love the guy's awkward face during this whole promotion. He's like, but he's still like, he loves it. It's a really weird scene because he's like I say, he's scrambled. That's kind of what I said at the start. His brain is scrambled. He's not here anymore. But yeah, why is he promoted a full 2 ranks?
Again, yeah.
Again, like they're missing the idea of you half. That's weird. That's not how ranks are done normally.
And the whole premise of the whole episode was we can't fire on them because if we do, it'll start a war. We're not going to do that.
Yes.
Yet weaponizing this thing and destroying their ship.
Yes.
Is fine.
Well, it wasn't a weapon. It was a artificial intelligence non-bomb that accidentally went in and destroyed their ship. But the thing is, they were dead either way. So I mean, there was no evidence because they got all killed. I guess the ship sensors say technically we did not fire, therefore no war. I guess maybe they're just going to scrub the airlock cameras, and then there's no evidence. Maybe. No, you're right. It's weird because they still killed the people. And sort of dial back for a second. When they're in the bridge and they're saying, "Okay, target their warp core, we'll fire them." It's like, Captain, you don't have to murder them all. You can just shoot their tractor beam emitters and their engines. Don't kill them, please. Why murder? Yeah. It's a really dark thing, and it didn't need to be, because you had like in Star Trek 2, target their whatevers. Oh no, you kill them, and Krug shoots the guy. He murders a guy for killing them unintentionally. It's like, you don't have to kill them all, guys. Please don't.
Fleet Paw Swiftback, $5. Hell yeah, we hit 150. Badgie is happy. Can we hit 200? Hashtag made fleet pop pay. Hashtag Badgie like spike. Well, you have 153 likes, 157 watching. Can we match that up and get 157 likes? 157 watching, 157 likes. Is it possible? I think it is. Let's do it.
Yes.
Hit it.
I do like the line of, "Oh, the Titan, didn't you want to be? Isn't that your dream assignment?" Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of all the ships, though, it's not the E, it's not the Voyager A.
Yeah.
It's not DS9. You can tell he likes Riker. Like he looks up to the idea of Riker. So I kind of like that like subtext of he wants to be the next Riker.
And I also like the fact that he turns that around and says, "But you know what? Maybe this is just what Fletcher needs to turn things around. New ship, new duties. It might make him a better man." 6 days later, bum bum bum. I got frickin' fired. What? You fired? Well, who would ever fire you? What? Anyway, yeah, you emptied trash into the warp core. I mean, it all burns up anyway. Yeah, that's pretty good. Can you guys put in a good word for me? And it's like, no, sorry, man, you're breaking up. You think there's some like temporal thing going on, temporal rift or something?
Yeah,
temporal anomaly.
No. I was surprised by the 6 days later that we didn't just see some ship shots. Like, it would have been funnier if 6 days later and the Titan, as you say, warps away, and then he gets called instantly. It's like, "You were fired already? It's been 5 minutes." And then the same scene. It's like, well, you know. And he's been demoted to ensign, but so he's been fired, but he's now an ensign. What does that mean?
Maybe he got demoted first for being stupid on day 3.
Yeah.
So he got demoted to ensign on the Titan, and then got fired for doing.
Because
that's kind of the vibe that I got.
Because are they implying he's now out of Starfleet? Because I'd hope he would be, given how bad he is. Okay.
Because they say now he's Earth's problem.
Which
going back to Earth.
He could have been sent back because he's like been demoted below ensign. Which I guess is the same thing as fired. But I like their camaraderie, dissing him, saying no, we don't care. It was fine.
Even use his idea against him. Oh, it's the Q. It's the Q doing some crazy stuff over here. Quick, hang up.
Yeah. And then they each do the Vulcan anti-sleep for a split second, which means this episode has to be after that episode. It wouldn't make sense. So.
Yeah, that's true. But then she got the keys to the captain's yacht.
Sorry, what?
Signed them out under his name.
They have a captain's yacht, Stuart?
Apparently.
The hell do they have a captain's yacht?
I don't buy that for the Cerritos personally. And I love how the keychain it's a nice linear chip with a triple keychain.
I mean, it makes sense that's a key. I can buy that. Yeah. It's an access code key. But, I mean, they must just mean, like, captain's yacht is a shuttle in the shuttle bay. I don't buy for a second there's a dedicated...
Yeah.
Like, it's a repair boat.
That being said, there's something about the Cerritos coming up.
Oh, I know.
It's got a special feature, a function that separates, like a saucer separation. So who knows?
Yeah. And then it ends with a warp away, although it's so implied. Like, well, quickly, we'll get to the captain's yacht, that you see the captain's yacht launching. The fact they suddenly go to warp is like, oh, that's not what they were implying at all.
Maybe they're just going to raid the bar.
Well,
I mean, you can imagine there'd be a nice hangout area on a captain's yacht, special liquor.
A spread of sandwiches, ready-made, special fresh earth bread. But yeah, and then it cuts to next time on the mutant dog. We'll talk about that next week.
Wednesday, that'll be a prediction video.
We'll talk about that way sooner than later. But yeah, there we go. We have
we have an episode of Trekyards in the can now, a live one.
We do.
So yeah, guys, super chat your scores for this based on other Lower Decks episodes. I will now give you kind of my summary and my score. And so if you super chat, I'll read your super chat scores. If you just want to put your regular scores in the regular chat, you can do so as well. Samuel will read those when he gets to them after he's done. But yes, if you want to get that last super chat slot in, by all means, super chat now with your scores, and we'll be reading those soon. So anyway, this is not my favorite episode of Lower Deck. Some people have said it is their favorite episode. I don't get it. It's too cartoony. It's a little bit too over that line. I know Badgie is supposed to be a holodeck character, and that's fine. That's a good explanation for the character. So that was well handled, at least.
It would just never appear in any other Star Trek ever.
Yeah. And I wish there was more of a convergence of the stories. Like I said, if the thing that he attached his brain to had needed a host, the power surge facilitated the getting into Badgie, that would have been way preferred for me, and it would have been a much more cohesive story.
Basically, this episode isn't clever. It's stuff happens. Whereas other episodes, like episode 1, everything links together. And you're like, oh, that's cool. This one is just stuff happens.
Yeah.
It's not clever.
Yeah.
It's not integrated. It's just stuff happens.
I don't think it's my least favorite episode, but like I said, we're gonna have to wait till all episodes are out before we kind of rank them like that. But that being said, I'm gonna give this a 6 out of 10. It was just okay for me. Again, has a few awesome. It was great. There's lots of little things like that are fun, as there are in all of these episodes because of little Easter eggs and canon references, which is great. But yeah, it's gonna get a 6 out of 10 for me. Just it's not.
Could you?
Yeah.
And then guys, I think we're just doing okay with super chats this week. I've sort of lost track. We're doing okay. If we can get another $30 or 25, that'd be great to kind of get to a round number. So 25, 30, and likes, or 160 likes. So 25, guys, if you can help. If you can give a separate though score, because I'd love to know, because that's the general. But for each of the 3 stories, just to give a sense, because they're so radically different in terms of quality. For the Isolenia Monster, Holodeck, and J.G. Hertz's story. Just give me a sense of like which one was better, worse for you personally.
Well, the main overarching story with the Drukmani would probably be a 7 out of 10. It had a lot of potential. I would have liked to see more of the TOS stuff, see what the cargo was,
and more of Hertzler.
Yeah, absolutely. Hooking your brain up to the thing, considering it was a shield core, not a computer core. Lots of iffiness there, so I'm going to give that probably a 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10, maybe at the most. It had potential, like I said, to cross over with the Holodeck story. And Holodeck stories, I find, are always great, but it's always the same thing. The safety protocols get shut off. You can't end the program. It's always the same problems. This one, they had those problems, but they could also change environments on the fly, which really would have been cool in some TNG episodes to kind of get away from danger. You have to change the setting. If you can't, I mean, that would have been interesting. But it was, it's a Holodeck episode. I mean, I do enjoy those generally. This one was not quite as enjoyable. So for the Holodeck 10, it was all right. Had potential. The idea of Badgie is interesting. I kind of like the funny. I would buy one. There's merchandising potential there. So yeah, those are the 3 story elements for me.
Yeah, and still $25, guys, if you can, because put your super chat scores, and there you go. But yeah, for me, this one is the weakest of the bunch. It was better the second viewing, but that's because my regard for the episode was already much lower. So I mean, it was not a good episode. What can I see new in it? Rather than it's a great episode. What can I see new in it? But when you watch it a second time, you see how it all connects more. There's no surprises, and you sort of it goes faster. So the stuff you don't like goes quicker rather than wait and see what happens. Again, the pluses are the characterizations of the main leads. Boimler and Mariner is good to great. The captain is good to great. Security officer is good to great. And that's above many other episodes, so well done them. Great. But yeah, the 3 stories are heavily ill-balanced. The Holodeck is too cartoony and also generic at the same time, because like you said, I didn't even thought about that. But yeah, it's just the same problem again. And he doesn't add anything to their characters. Except now we know that Rutherford abuses his creations that don't go well.
And he also likes Tindy. He thinks she's cute.
Didn't we already know that, Stuart?
Nope, we really didn't.
But we kind of did, though. What? You're joking, right?
No, I'm not joking.
Oh. But from the first episode, though, he was like, oh my god.
Yeah, he doesn't say she's cute, though. He just is interested in her as a friend, as far as we knew, but...
Okay, well, I thought, you were noted at the time. You thought, they're probably going to go out, but anyway, and then the Icelandic monster is dumb. There's no redeemable features for that. but the guy is less annoying on the second viewing because you just don't care about him. He's a write off instantly.
Yeah.
So the first time I watched this, walking away, I would have given it a 3 out of 10.
Ooh.
Like awful. It's a little bit higher now, but if this is not the worst of the season, then I'm sad for the season because it means there's a worse one. I mean, the highest I can go is maybe a 4.
I don't think there's going to be a worse one. I think from here on, the next 3 are going to be epic as far as,
Because that's the thing, though, is am I reviewing this to all Star Trek or to this season?
Just to this season. We haven't done.
Well, then it's a 1 because it's the worst. I mean, it's the worst of the season. You know, or it's easily the worst by a long way.
It's not one. It's not one worthy.
But for this season, though, like everything has been an enjoyment factor. This has basically no enjoyment. For maybe a 2 then. If it's all of Star Trek, it's definitely, like I said, it's the threshold for me. It's the threshold of this season. I mean, it's just there's so little to it I enjoy. But I'll stick with 3, I guess. It's just not good, you know. And the 3 is really only for the main leads, but the main leads doesn't justify the bad story.
I didn't think it was even that bad, but
okay.
Fair enough.
It's above average for you, is what it's saying. It's above average Star Trek, Lower Decks.
It's better than any episode of Picard or Discovery. Most episodes of Discovery.
I mean, even Nepenthe? This is better than Nepenthe with Riker and Troy?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so that's better. So it's you can still beat
majority of Picard is better than. Yeah. And I'd rather watch this than any of those again. So put it that way.
Yeah. Hey, we got our 30. Boom, chicka boom.
Well, that thing you can't find throws in $20, so thank you very much.
Brilliant.
6.5 out of 10. Bleep. Hold on. Am I back yet? No, I'm frozen.
We are frozen, but I can hear you.
Let me know when I'm back.
You are frozen, but I choo can hear you. Cuckoo, ka-choo. Hello, I can see you now.
Yeah, just have to tell me when I'm back. That's all.
You're back.
The thing you can't find, $20. 6.5 out of 10. B-plot was great, and it was nice to see Mariner not being her usual self. Absolutely, I agree with that. 10 out of 10 for Trekyards, as always. Hashtag can it teach you all? Can I teach you a lesson? Okay. Please don't hashtag things like that. I have a real hard time reading hashtags that aren't separated with underscores. But thank you. Can I teach you a lesson? Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's really difficult.
Amazing. Thank you.
When you have dyslexia, it's really hard to read hashtags. That's why I hate hashtags with passion. Anyway.
Well, I kind of jump one more thing, though. If I was to separate the 3 storylines into scores, just for clarity, the captain storyline would have been an 8. It's simple, effective, and good. Holodeck, super generic, 5 if not 4. Generic until the end, then it gets to be a 4. But it's just the monsters like a 1. So it just drags it down. And that's most of the episode, you know. That's more. It's a combination of all of them that gives me such a bad score because one giant element of it is so bad.
Luke Celeste, 6 out of 10.
Thank you.
For the A plot, 7 out of 10 for Mariner plot, and 6 out of 10 for the Holodeck plot, and 11 out of 10 for Trekyards.
That was loud.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
We do try.
Brian Straight, $5.
Thank you.
Same as I have all of the other episodes of the series. Meh out of 10. 5, I guess, for Badgie. 4 for the merge. And 5. What? 5, I guess. Badgie 4, merge 5, scavenger 6. Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah.
And Jeff Jacobs puts in $2.
Jeff.
I don't know if anybody paid for $150, so here you go. Hashtag make Jeff pay.
So clever. And at 160, can we get to 180 likes? But I do want to hear though. Let's break the chat again. I want to see in the chat now though. Do you like, dislike, meh this episode? So a like is like 10, 7, 10, 8, 9. 7, meh is 6, 5, 4, and then dislike is 3, 2, 1. Just I would like to see the consensus in the chat. So like, dislike, meh. But I think next week will be interesting. Although given the fact that it feels like the dog will be the primary storyline and they never are what they tell us, I'm excited to see what is not going to be that then. You know what I mean?
So I wonder if the dog has something to do with the Q. Well, we'll get into that with our prediction video. See, I wish they wouldn't have shown us Q. Like, I really do wish they wouldn't have shown that. Like, don't give that shit away.
Well,
I don't know.
but it is only a one-line cameo. Like, it's not even a scene, it's a moment. So I guess it's just like, don't expect too much.
Well, yeah. Well, like I said, we'll talk about that in the prediction video, but I can see the dog being a pre-credit thing. Like, we got this really cool dog, and I did this and did this. And turns out it's just Q. Snaps his fingers and goes, ugh, you guys are not as much fun as Picard, and take off or something. You know, I don't think it's going to be a main element to the story, but yeah.
Yeah. Is that meant to be next week, though, or is that later? I don't think we knew which episode it was.
We have no idea.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm just saying, I can see that being a thing. Like, it's a red herring in the trailer. To think, oh, this dog's a big part of it, and it's really probably not.
Yeah, or it's like the super C plot, even though it's played as the A plot.
Or the dog's there the whole thing, and at the end it was revealed to be Q.
Yeah, maybe like a dog appears randomly, and then like, where did the dog appear? I don't know, because it was a Q the whole time. And guys, we're actually only $20 away from a really nice round number. Like, again, I'm looking, ooh, that's nice. So if we can get 20 before the end, that would be mwah. So what do you think, Stuart, based on the people's dislike, meh?
Like, meh. Hi, meh. Like.
Mostly likes.
Like. Yeah, a lot of people. This one is divisive, I think. A lot of people either really love this one, it's their favorite, or it's kind of like a, eh.
Well, I think this one is the example of the it's kind of like with Orville, right? Some people like the ones that have basically no comedy and it's all about drama, and I like the ones that are a bit more clever comedy with drama. This one is not a funny episode. It really isn't. It's not a jokey episode. It's story with a bit of joke, but it's Star Trek in the sense that everyone gets on, except the little bitch guy, which is again part why I don't like that he's such a bad character. But it's a simple, followable plot with an exterior enemy they can like understand. So there's no like complex character drama. It's just baddies, we fight them. You know, holodeck, yay. References, yay. Characters like each other. Like, you know, and it's not funny and it's not, but it's also cartoony. So it's like you can do really creative things, like in the animated series, the original TOS one or TAS. Like, they could do things you couldn't do live action. And we'd normally celebrate that because they got the bigger budget. So, you know, these monsters you wouldn't want to do. Although, I guess, to be fair, they did kind of do the Ursulinia monster with the future squid in Discovery. Not that it sucked material in, but it kind of like, you know, like a sentinel. They just look cooler. So I guess the kid did kind of do it in live action. But I guess it's just a simpler story, more relatable, you know. It hasn't got that spark of Lower Decks that Lower Decks brings so much. That humour, the character, you know. I'm guessing? I don't know. I'm trying to wonder why.
Well, Watner215 says it's a solid okay for me. We got another meh. I didn't die laughing, but I didn't hate it, says Jamal.
I also think, though, we both love the show so much.
Yeah.
And for certain reasons. So this is, like, so not what we love the show for. And so it's also part of the contrast factor, especially, you know, last week was really good, and we also saw the unexpected. Just like we don't want to see Q. Like, if they'd spoiled the uniform, the Rathacon, the first kind of uniform, be like, oh man. So not seeing that and then being like, oh my god, there it is. You know? Yeah.
Joshua Stearns, $5. It's a meh for me, dog. Now show me the Gorn. Yeah, I'd like to see a Gorn in one of these. That'd be great. Yeah, See, don't tease me, especially with TOS stuff, and then not deliver. And the only thing we saw the TOS trailer. It's like, come on, that's just a strike against you right away. Sorry, I love TOS. Eugene says 7 out of 10. Okay, it's not supposed to be on par with the rest of Star Trek. It's comedy spin-off cartoon.
But the rest of
is it? I was not aware that it was a comedy spin-off cartoon.
I just thought it was the next Star Trek show happens to be a cartoon.
I thought it was serious, man. Marmin Sommerman says, I didn't laugh once. Last laugh I got was from the series was the doctor's line about being a scratching post. Wow. Lighten up a little, man. If that's the only laugh you're getting out of this, ugh. Don't know what to tell you. You should see a doctor about that. or therapist.
Yeah, guys, we're $14 away. 14. I know slightly more for you than for me that you want to see more TOS, as you just said. Like if they had TOS anything, it would have raised it. But like I said, it's just the extent they went.
Depends.
Just the extent they went to the silliness. That said, though, we know that next week is the transporter out of phase. We'll see the potentially 3-legged alien. So there we go. That might come in.
Yeah, well, that'll be next week for sure because we know that's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that prediction video. That'll be fun.
But I mean, hey guys, for me, if every episode of every show was perfect, that would be an achievement. Which is why when most of the episodes of Discovery are bad, to some extent, that's an achievement too. Yeah. And they're allowed their one. But yeah, for me, like I said, this is a threshold for me. But the thing is, we watch Threshold, and if you haven't seen Threshold in a long time, you think it's the awful episode. But Threshold is actually a good episode until Threshold swaps into a really bad episode. Like the science, the interest stuff is good. So it's the same with this one. It's good until it just drops the ball. I made the analogy in our pre-review. It's like a sandcastle. It's solid until the wave hits it, and it just goes. It's gone. Yeah.
And Nathan, head actor, Cyrano de Bergerac wasn't a holodeck program either. It was a monologue Barclay did from a play directed by Crusher. Yes, we pointed that out at the time when we talked about it. It's actually from the episode Nth Degree. So. And also it was pointed out that the Robin Hood was also not a holodeck. It was a Q simulation or fabrication, a Q thing. That thing you can't find throws in $10. Here's $10, guys. Well, thank you very much. We really appreciate that. That is awesome. Good number, good super chats this one, and the likes are 165, which is good. 108 people watching. Is there 10 people out there that haven't hit likes so we can get 175? We're kind of greedy for likes. Likes are good. Likes show us that you like us. We appreciate that.
Yeah, and we like you. That's why we're here chatting to you for over 2 hours about Star Trek. And for the next, God, how many more weeks? Discovery 13 episodes? Or is it 10?
I don't know.
No, it's 13. It's 23 weeks. So yeah, we've got 4 more of this. So we've got 18 more weeks of Star Trek with you guys. And then then straight after that'll be Christmas Day. That's the next week after this all ends. So
and we have Mandalorian in there too.
Oh God!
For all the Star Wars fans. Yeah.
Hey guys, tell us now though. Guys, are you more excited for Discovery or Mandalorian? That'll be our last little note, and then you'll do the super chat. But guys, Mandalorian or Discovery? There's no wrong answer here for different reasons. But what are you more excited for? Now, Stuart, read out our super chat.
This is the Star Trek crew group here right now. So,
but our regulars are regular.
Yeah. Good tea, nice house. Throws in $5. The nerd that I am went back to hear the Enterprise D and Voyager warp engine sounds, and they were all way off. They sound more like this.
I was waiting for them to go vroom, 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 vroom.
Yeah.
Because no one did that. Although I think you missed that thing you can't find, big yellow one.
I did read that.
Oh, okay, cool. I was doing the Mandalorian thing. Because
here's $10, guys.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay. So what we've got both Mandalorian, Mandalorian, both, neither, or Mandalorian, Discovery.
Sasha Banks is going to be in it. Woo! Then Mandalorian all the way.
Who's Sasha Banks?
She's a porn star.
Oh.
Not that I would know that. I mean, I'm guessing.
Because you were like, it's like what's the top warp speed of Voyager?
9.975.
And then who's Sasha Banks? You're quicker with the porn star than the Voyager's warp speed. Come on, Stuart! Come on!
Yeah. Mandalorian stories have been better so far, but looking forward to both. I'm looking forward to both as well. Like I said, every time a new episode of Discoveries comes out, I'm excited. And then usually I'm disappointed at the end of it. But I'm still excited when it comes on because it's new Trek.
Well, we always hope for the best for that show. We always want the best. Always. It'd be absurd not to want the best. And that's okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess that is it, guys. Last super chat is a good tea, nice house. Your house is amazing. You have a good tea.
And Michael Anderson says, one bit of continuity issue in the Voyager episode Darkling, the evil doctor decapitated multiple holograms and they were hollow. No blood involved whatsoever. But you got to remember, this is years later. These are advanced holodeck programs that maybe incorporate that into the holodeck holograms to make them more realistic.
Also, the safety protocols were off.
True.
So different rules. You know, that's like the X rating setting. Shit gets real when we turn those off. The blood filter goes on.
Yeah, because you want to kill holograms if you turn that setting off or whatever the situation is. So.
Or I mean, not to go too far off kilter, but I can imagine that Rutherford, he's such a perfectionist that he would actually include his holograms to have a full internal blood system. Never intending that to be seen, but if he's going to build people as part of his programs, to
impress Tindy because she's in medical.
Yeah.
So he's like, you can check this out. And he's like, take the skin off.
Shoots one.
Take the muscle off so you can see the skeleton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Well. Beautiful, guys. Thanks so much. And I... Oh. But I think it's fair to say, Stuart, we talked about this episode more than we both thought we were going to. I was expecting an hour and a half, and we managed 2 hours and 10 somehow.
Always happens.
Yeah.
And the ones we think are going to be longer never are. So anyway, that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. Tune in
tomorrow,
Monday,
and Monday.
Oh yeah, watch tomorrow's regular release. And Sunday is the last part of the Mike McMahon interview. So check that out. More ship answers and questions. Although questions then answers, not the other way around.
Oh, yeah, he answered questions we didn't ask. Then we asked questions didn't answer. It was very confusing. He's like 42, and we're like, what? And then we asked a question, he just ignored it.
42 is always the answer.
See?
As you should know.
As you did know. Well done. Oh, yeah, we'll see you guys on Monday for more fun Trek things, and then this will all start again next week. Thanks so much, everybody. Say bye, Stuart.
Bye, Stuart.
Bye, guys.